Doop doop dee 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 doop dee 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 doop dee dee doo. Welcome to the Smeggie Cave. How's everyone not doing out there in YouTube land on the gun channel side? I got G-Webs joining me. I got other links out there, so other people may be jumping in whenever they get a free moment. Got a couple messages. People are on their phones, which you can join Hangouts from your phone. I do it all the time too, but whatever. You just have to have the Hangout app on your phone.
I'm jumping around like White Zombie tonight, stomping on the ground, shaking my fists and waving my dreadlocks all around.
More human than human. So yeah, looks like a handful of people out there watching. Doug's mentioned something. We'll kick this off. I saw you answer in the Daily Gun Show. Apparently, there's a Michigan representative that wants to have some type of gun confiscation bill. Name's Debbie Dingle. So that's bad. I'll have to look into it and send her a message. Say, hey, don't be dumb. I don't know why Vanessa's having trouble finding the Smeggie Cave. Just go to gunchannels.com and then it's right on the main page. I put a link to my channel. I saw your name pop up in the chat room for a minute. So somehow you found it.
I'll open the window and you can listen for the music. I figure that guy's so pissed because his skinny jeans are so tight. He's like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. And he's stepping on the ground.
It could be.
And that hair's got to be super hot, right? And he's like, oh, and for some reason I tied a bunch of towels into my hair. It's also super hot. 1965.
Decent director, though. I always liked House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, that movie? I don't like the movie. I like his video. Back in the day, I used to like that video a lot. 1965 one.
Yeah.
All right.
Good dude, I guess. There, now Vanessa's over on the gun channel side. She found it.
So, what do you think about having a chick as a bassist? I'm down. I like it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if she's good at playing bass.
There's other chicks that are bassists, aren't there?
Probably. You know, I know people in bands as well as I know actors from movies, which is like not at all. So I'm sure there is, but I don't really know people.
Let's go see. Adele. So whoever that is. The Melvins. I might have heard of them. Oh, Elastica. You ever heard of Elastica?
No, I have not.
It's all chicks, though. You ever heard of Sheryl Crow?
I have heard of Sheryl Crow.
You never really heard of an Elastica?
I have not heard of Elastica.
Exactly. You just might not remember the name of the song, or I mean the group.
Maybe. I mean, if they have a song that's been on the radio and stuff, I might know it, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't mean I know the people.
Have like a little preview of it. They don't.
Huh.
This one. Oh, ad. Of course. Some song. So of course there's gonna be ad. Boston had a female drummer. David Bowie had some. Butt Trumpet. Didn't you know that Butt Trumpet had a female bassist?
Well, yeah, obviously that one.
You've
That
heard
does
that
not
song?
sound familiar.
Oh, really? No,
No, does not
okay.
sound familiar.
It was like on the YouTubes, or I mean the MTVs for a minute.
Back when MTV had music on it.
B-52. Oh no, it was after that. It was in the 90s, so it was not music still. B-52s had a female bassist.
Cool.
Concrete Blonde.
What was that? Fuck, I don't remember the name of the band. There was some. I'm pretty sure the whole band was chicks. I know at least this one who sang was, but it was like a rockabilly band, which I kind of like rockabilly. Like I never heard of it before, and then I found
Cats.
out about it. Was like that's pretty neat. But they
Straight.
had a song that was like, "Whoa, I fucked a zombie." It was pretty funny.
Talking Heads. Maybe that's the one I was thinking of. Tina Weymouth of the Tom Tom Club. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
You've heard Tom Tom Club, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew I was not crazy and that I'd heard of another bassist. And then for some reason, I want to say the chick from Garbage. Is she a bassist?
I don't know.
All right. So there you go. Next, female harmonica players. Go.
I have no idea. Can we talk about guns?
Female revolver shooters. Go.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, you know Sarah?
No.
Yeah, she shoots a revolver.
Oh, well, then that adds up.
Oh man, sorry, I'm just being weird.
Oh, my God. Ugh. So, old client been emailing me for 2 days, and it's frustrating because he's not young. And he's like, oh, this happened. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, so do you know why? And I'm like, I don't know why, but I can assume why. And then he's like, oh, it's you help me with this? And I'm like, no, remember when we crossed or whatever you say, like split paths many years ago? And I walked you through how to do all this stuff on your own. That was so that I never had to do this part ever again. And then he's like, oh, can you do this part again? And then I'm like, and then he's like, of course, because I got nothing else to do right now, right? Let me go do something gratis for somebody that's going to be super complicated and not even necessarily possible. And then he's all like, oh, and then here's a bunch of problems that I'm having in my sick family members. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And then, by the way, how's that person who doesn't talk to you anymore, who I think, is friends with you? So I'm like, oh, okay. So now I have to go, oh, and by the way, the guy that you think is a mutual friend of ours does not like me. And if you're hanging out with me because you think he owes you favors that somehow I'm paying off, like, what's going on? Yeah. So I'm doing all this.
Send him an email back. Say, okay, my usual rate is $100 an hour, and I'll get back to you.
I can't. I wish I could. I don't have that.
My floor time was crooked. I had to fix it. Whoa, I fucked the zombie. Damn it, I have a song stuck in my head now.
I did get a reply back from the stuck $700, and it turns out that I am on community guideline scrutiny or some like fair guidance scrutiny or some like department because I refunded all those people from the cards. Probably like that's the only thing I can think of because every other time it's gone right through. So they're like, "Oh yeah, we're aware that we haven't actually given you that money, but thanks for asking. We'll get around to it and we'll let you know." They're like, "You'll know when it happens because you'll have the money." Like, hey, thanks for that.
So because a project didn't really go through and you ended up having to refund people because you didn't have enough support, they're got you on a wait list.
Kind of. They basically, yeah, I'm thinking I can understand it, right? They want to make sure that, I'm not pulling something. And then I put up a thing this time around because this thing's about to end in an hour, right? Less than an hour now. So I put up a thing like, doesn't look like it's going, but I know now that like I better do these refunds now than after because then I pay all the cut. Like you get charged, then I get, my cut minus their fees, and then I refund you your whole piece. So I'm losing fees plus everything else, right? So, doing it on my own and everything and making sure it goes through and all that. So I go to one person was like, yeah, I want a refund. So I was like, oh, okay, let me get that for you. And then, of course, they've taken away my refund buttons. I don't have refund buttons anymore.
Oh, geez.
So they're like, oh, you abused that. Because I think I refunded like $800 out of 13 or $700 out of 16 or something. It was like pretty much half or maybe even a little more than half. They probably don't like that. I'm sure they consider
So it's
that.
like if you would have just kept the money and not delivered on the thing, they would have been happier than if you gave everyone back their money.
Indiegogo would have, yes, definitely.
The people would not have been, but I'm just saying from the website's point of view, it's
Honestly, I think because I did it like in the last hours, I don't know if anybody would have even noticed. If I would have just done it and ate the fees, I mean, I would have gladly done it now because then I would have not needed to borrow the money I borrowed to go to California, right? So, like against that. So, I mean, I would have taken a hit in some fees times, I forget how many people it was, 30 people or no, 10 people, 15. So I would have taken, $15 minus 30 cents or something, whatever the hell the fees are on $15, whatever the hell it is, $20. Yeah, it was penny wise, dollar foolish, for damn sure. Penny wise, month long foolish.
bummer.
Oh well, live and learn. I can take this experience and relate it to someone so they don't have to go through this.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Was there a drum intro that I missed?
Yes, it was pretty elaborate. I thought it was like 4 or 5 people, but it was Smeggie just going at it that fast.
What was that one that I wrote when
It was literally like 4 different beats going on at the same time, intermingling like.
Oh, dude, that's nuts. That'd be awesome. There's like something where
you ever listen to Grateful Dead? They have 2 drummers.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I saw it's not really King Crimson, but it was like half of them. It's called the Crimson Experience. And they have like 2 drummers and they did like a battling drum thing, like battling banjos, where the one dude's like boom ba ba da ba boom boom ba ba, and then another guy's like diddle da ba ba da diddle da ba da. And like they go back and forth, and then at one point they're just both going nuts. It was pretty cool.
Bongos.
Banjos
or bongos?
They were playing drums, but I said it was similar to battling banjos. You know that song, how it goes back and forth.
Gotcha. Okay.
It started out like that, so they're just like.
Banjos?
Then the other guy pops in. And back and forth. And by the end, they were just doing crazy stuff that I can't do.
Should I get my bass?
Hell yeah.
And then we could do like a...
Yeah. They're trying to take my guns away because I live in New York City. Trying to take my guns away and I think that is shitty.
Let me go get my Jew's harp.
Hell yeah. But I ain't gonna let them take away my right. Put my money where my mouth is and stand up and fight. Sorry, Mr. Bloomberg, you're just out of luck. 'Cause I'm too ass fuck. 'Cause I'm too ass fuck. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. I remember trying to playing with Raph over the Hangouts. I don't know any songs, Pants. Like, I never learned other people's stuff.
You don't know like Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin?
No. I didn't learn any drum stuff. Like, I can hear stuff and play a beat that like sounds good with it, but I never took the time to learn other people's stuff. I always just wrote my own stuff. MC Drum Doctor 2A. I like that. 'Cause I'm 2A as fuck. I dropped my stick. That was sad.
At this point, why are we fucking around with the Daily Gun Show anymore?
I always mess up the end part.
I think you're murdering everyone's ears.
It's sad.
The YouTube has complaints.
I really don't care. I guess turn your speakers down then. Unless you're just saying I suck and that's why your ears hurt, in which case then screw you.
Oh, I'm not. I don't mind.
Yeah, maybe Moon does. He's the one complaining about his ears.
Moon.
That's like when I did the hashtag why I carry. Every single comment's like, don't quit your day job. Oh, geez, that sucked. you're not very good at drums. It's like, dude, fuck you. I'm doing something. Like, I know I'm not like a world-class drummer. I just enjoy doing it. I have fun.
That's what it's about.
And I wrote songs out of my own brain and played them. So, but whatever. I'm trying to get the bar that's near me. They have a band on Saturday nights. And
Oh, are they looking for a drummer?
not really. But
Oh.
I'm trying to get them to be like, hey, if you ever like can't book a band, let me know. I'll like run home and grab my drums, and it'll just be a solo show. I don't know what I would do. I don't know I'd actually ever do it, but it'd be pretty fun.
Just drum for like an hour.
Yeah. You know, I have a CD around here somewhere, and it's really bugging me. I don't know where the hell it is, but I was in a band a while back, and we had 3 people. So it was me, a guitarist, and a singer. And the dude on guitar was like okay on guitar, but he was a good bass player. Like he started out playing bass, and then the other dude quit. So he moved over to guitar, and then we had another bass player for a little bit, and then he stopped showing up. So it was just the 3 of us. But we wrote our own songs. We wrote like 7 or 8 songs.
Shit, that's a lot.
Yeah. And you know, we played them at this. The singer always had a huge Halloween party at her house, so like that's the biggest show I've ever played, was like 50 people in a basement. But you know, it was fun. And anyway, she made a recording of that, like made a video of it, burned it onto a CD, and I have that somewhere in my home. I just don't know where it is.
You could use it as like intro music to Smeggie Cave.
Yeah. It was really weird because we all like different music and stuff. So like we didn't have like a well-defined definite, you know, like song. Because there was one song that was like very punk-like. Let me see if I can try to remember that one. Yeah, that's what it was. It was actually a little bit faster than that, but my foot's being slow today. Damn it.
Boy, you're not the young buck you once were.
Yeah, it was about that fast. Anyways, so that was like real like punk vibe, and then we had a couple slow ones and just a couple kind of normal ones. I didn't go nuts on the drums. There's a lot of just, you know, whatever, like, you know, just real basic, whatever, kind of back filler.
I was in a marching band.
Anyways, I'll have to listen to some music, then go to bed. All right, see ya, hottie. Jackass.
Too hottie, you suck.
He's probably just joking. Or
Yeah,
not.
I'm sure he is. Oh, Moon's saying that Too Hottie plays the jazz flute.
Sure it's not the skin flute?
I don't know, is it?
Ba-dum-bum. See, if I was still sitting behind my drums, I could have set myself up for my own joke.
Yeah, you could have done the actual. That would have been cool.
So I give him the sound for when he makes a joke about me, but then I stand up and walk away before I make a shot about him.
Yeah, it was cooler for him, I think.
Yeah. The good thing is, I know I'll never get a copyright strike because nothing I play resembles anything of like music. So they won't like mistake me for being like, oh man, this guy's so good, he's actually playing music on his channel.
Is G-Webs playing the flute?
Sure he is.
Mm-hmm. It's a pickerel. No, piccolo.
Piccolo?
Pickerel is a fish.
Maybe
Mackerel?
you're playing that. We don't know.
I'm playing the refresh button.
F5.
Oh man. I guess let's go back, look at the chat, see if anyone's talking about stuff other than making fun of me.
No one's making fun.
Da, 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 da.
A jazz flute is like a regular flute, but it smokes marijuana.
Oh, okay.
Vanessa asked what a jazz flute was, so I was telling her.
Oh man.
I think it also likes loose women.
Well, I thought that was just a given. Apparently there's a bunch of people watching. You guys want to talk about guns? Say stuff about
I
guns
don't
in the
think
chat.
they're here to hear about the guns. I think they're here for the jam sesh.
All right, we got your base or what? Let's go.
So I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
I will in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
But I'll play some bass.
Boom, 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 boom.
Too Hotty's gonna miss it.
I don't think he's gonna miss it. He seems bitter. Vanessa wants to chat about math. Okay, so those are your options, folks. Ask us gun questions, or hear music, or hear us talk about math.
how do we go about harnessing the power of the early watch nation?
I don't know. Get everyone on board. I mean, it's a
What is
regular
the mission
grassroots
of the
thing.
early watch regime?
I believe it is to do something towards the second, towards awareness.
So each one is like watching their state laws.
I think it's a general theory, and I don't know if they have already agreed upon an actual resolution of like, what to do, or if they're still working on that. I've only been to the early watch a couple of times lately, and they haven't actually been talking about that at the moment that I was in there.
Right.
What do they
I
talk
don't think
about?
they've really married the show to like the early watch 2A agenda.
Oh, Vanessa Kitty is early watch Connecticut. She could tell us.
Is she married
I don't know if she's married. Does she have to be?
to the project? According to Smeggie, they're all going to get married. The early watch
Oh.
family.
Okay, so I've seen this a couple of places now. This YouTube shooter was a disgruntled
Girl.
YouTuber, and people keep mentioning that she was a vegan.
Oh yeah, that's going to have to be part of it, I'm sure.
That's misdirection bullshit stuff. That's the thing. For one, I don't understand why it's such a big story. Like, I'm not gonna lie, 3 people injured, bad guy dead. It's not a big story. Why is everyone going nuts over it?
Because it's on YouTube property, and
Yeah.
they're the ones saying it. Probably because they feel like it's somehow close to home.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but just I don't know. I don't quite get it. And then number 2 is that I don't jump on all these little facts and stuff until at least after a few days, because you start hearing all sorts of crazy stuff at first.
You mean once it's all hashed out and the police give us the real story of what actually happened, like in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so like, years later or whatever. But I mean, at least like, yeah, I want at least I want to get at least some of the facts, because if let's say a fact comes along, it's a nice juicy one, you're like, oh, this like is good for our side, like let's hammer this home, and then turns out that that's not really true.
Right,
It
as is often.
discredits your whole thing. And that's like the thing with the Florida going, he wasn't even there. He said he was at his house or whatever. It's like it was like taken out of context or whatever. And like if you jump on that, then any anti-gunner will like find the thing that proves he was there and then be like, oh, well, I guess everything you said is wrong. They'll just dismiss every single thing that you were talking about.
What?
Nothing.
But
No, man, they have
so the
20.
early watch is monitoring things going on in each state.
It'd be like a zone defense. Like they're all paying attention to what's happening there. I think the idea would then be they all archive it someplace, and then that way there's one place that everybody could check. That would have a bunch of people who are interested in hopefully filtering it out, right? Giving you the real deal of what's going on.
Right, exactly. And that's why I think it fits so perfectly with Every Second Matters, because that was kind of the whole point. That's why we have a different, page for every single state. People can hang out there, see what's going on in their state.
I think there's a phenomenon where people want to build, they want to create, and they want to be part of the creation of a system or a effort. And that's why I'm wondering if there's a way to make Every Second Matters more of just a framework and let people who come along with these initiatives or these ideas or these projects to attach them without having to give up their individuality or their thing. Like I don't think it all has to have the Every Second Matters banner on it or work with the Every Second Matters site. But if they added the Early Watch Nation as a organization, just like any other organizations in there, and then just were active to
updating stuff. And even if it just like links over to, like you said, I guess they are getting their own website and stuff, which, if that is a good central location for everyone to go to, then you can just post those links everywhere and get the information out to people. So,
is there a site for it already, or that's something that's going to happen? Because I would check that out like every day.
I think they're still efforting. Six minutes remaining. 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
6 minutes for what?
Copy and paste, moving over all the pictures I took in California and just the pictures and videos I took in California over to another hard drive. 12 gigs of pictures. That's not dash cam. It's just pictures and video. So how many people are watching the show right now?
12.
Is she correct? Mikey left. So of the 12 people, what would be the, let's say you won that 40 million lottery that somebody was going to win, what would be the first shooting destination? Like gather up some guns and go for a shoot? Would it be like an Alaskan hunt? Would it be like some kind of other thing? Or would it be something else?
I would get myself some full autos and go to Big Sandy.
Oh, there's an answer. I think if you brought $40 million or some chunk of that to Big Sandy, you'd be popular at Big Sandy.
Yeah. That's a nice way of saying it. I guess that's true. I could show up and then see if anyone was willing to transfer some of their stuff.
Would you need to even transfer it if you had that kind of scratch? Couldn't you just be like, hey, let me buy you some ammo?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would want to own the thing. So I guess that's true. I could show up and then see if anyone was willing to. Okay, everybody, name this gun.
Samuel.
No, that is not his name. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh my goodness, that's what triggered.
Is that a Ruger American? No.
It is a Ruger American.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
yeah.
Second.
Yeah, suck on that.
Oops. There's the Ruger thing there.
So pretty much what just happened is the girl beat the guys in gun stuff.
Well, we let you win, yes. We all sat down and let you.
Oh, that was nice then. What a bunch of gentlemen.
You didn't see, but as you were saying that, we all tipped our hats.
Oh, even better.
Milady.
What a bunch of guys.
Just for the record, if it wasn't me asking the question, I wouldn't have let you win. I mean, if you beat me, then you beat me fair and square, but I wouldn't have let you win.
You would have taken that as a challenge and tried to be the girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm competitive, dude. Now, I don't know a lot about guns, so I don't always win that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm not watching the YouTube side because I don't got that kind of time or interest, but I'm watching the gun channel side. And nobody's answering.
1022?
This is not a 1022. What is this one, everybody?
Let me see more of the stock. Like a Savage or something?
It is not a Savage.
Marlin?
It is a Marlin. But what is it? It's a little dark. Where's my flashlight?
I don't know, some kind of 22.
Narrow, that is.
It is not a 22.
HMR.
Oh, 17?
Yep.
Yay.
17 HMR. Pew, pew, pew.
Maybe that's to buy multiple guns every night to play What's This Gun in the cave.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty much out of stuff now.
Let's play What's on the Table.
Okay, what's on the table?
I don't know, I can't really see. A water bottle.
Second Amendment Life membership, some kind of bullet, some kind of water.
A lot of stickers, some patches.
That's probably
every second matters. Water bottle.
Look at that.
Yep.
That's a nice decal right there.
Is that a decal?
Of course.
What about this?
Stabber.
Sweet bayonet.
What country is it from, though?
I don't know.
Sure, it's easy.
I'm not a bayonet gal. I wish I owned one, though. I might buy one. Just for
Is that
stabbing.
even legal?
I know this part's important. That's one of the ways you can tell. I learned it in a book.
Do you obviously know? He knows.
Well, yeah.
Of course he knows. He sent it to me.
Oh. Then nice that he's cheating.
Well, I bet you he would have known anyways, though.
That's why I send stuff to people, so I know that eventually they're going to do some kind of late night show, and then
And then you'll fucking win.
quiz, and then I'll win, and then it'll profit. So, yep. Called the long game.
It's exposed now.
What else do I have? What's this?
It's like a bad lever or something.
Come on. The original bad lever. It would be a bad lever if it wasn't made out of aluminum, was put inside of a gun, and was made by the Soviet Union to kill us.
I like the made by the Soviet Union to kill us part.
It's an AK auto sear.
Oh, that's not illegal to have?
No.
In some states.
I don't know. I don't want to ask any questions.
Now, it would be illegal to take that and then take this like apart and
Are you bump firing that?
yes. And then I don't know where it goes. It goes in here somewhere.
I don't think you can like put it near the hole.
Let me see. So you take this and put it like in there.
You just assembled on a YouTube video. That was assembly on a YouTube video.
Well, it is what it is. Nice knowing you guys. Yeah, I don't even really know where it would go. I'm trying to think because like the third hole is up here somewhere, right? Normally,
Yes.
which means that this would have to go like up here somewhere. So it'd be it would go through in here somewhere. But I don't know where. It'd have to like hold this piece somehow.
Let's not cancel that. 78 gigs.
So yeah, I don't know where it goes. God damn it. Dust cover always sticks a little bit when I'm trying to jam it on there. Bitch. Get in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't own the fixture for making them either. There's no point.
There we go.
So where is this? This is upstairs or is it downstairs somewhere? It's upstairs, huh?
No, downstairs.
Oh, there's a window though.
Yeah. And the ground's like right there.
You don't see anything. Let me see less than before.
Well, I was trying to get it to show the outside.
Nope, nothing. A reflection of
Yeah.
a laptop.
Reflection of a laptop.
I think
And
someone might
then
be holding a laptop outside your window. Concerned.
now can you see it?
No. Anybody
Or does
see
that
it?
make it worse?
It's just worse. Now you can definitely see the lock. Now I know how to pick the lock on your window.
Ay, ay, ay. All right, hang on. Even though it's fucking cold and rainy outside.
Raining.
Well, it's rainy. It was. Is there no reflection now?
Now we see the screen and a bush. Is that a
Yeah.
marijuana?
Yes. So
Huge marijuana outside your window.
that's the bush, though. So I mean, you can tell the ground's like right there.
Okay. No actual evidence that there's ground anywhere there. You could have a bush sitting in some kind of a metal rack outside of a third-story window.
Is this the actual Smeggie Cave?
This is my gun room, so I guess it could be the Smeggie Cave.
My gun room.
Hold on. Angelina doesn't have a gun room?
No. I do not have a gun room.
Is that because it's illegal to have a room dedicated to the gun in
Of
California?
course.
Pew, 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 pew.
I can't remember how to play that off the top of my head. Nope.
I've been dazed and confused for so long, it's not true. Whoa, little woman, I'm bowing to you.
Let me see. I'm trying to smoke a cigarette. So.
Kick out a sweet jam.
I haven't played it for like 6 months. I wish I had a gun room. Where did Troy go? Wasn't he in here?
Yeah, he was. I guess he left.
He just fucking said he hated us and left.
He did say I had a nice bush, though, so that makes me feel good.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah, my foot's not working tonight.
not right. I'm trying to find a tab.
Apparently, Troy's phone dropped him. You normally can just re-sign in again. Like sometimes it just kicks you out every once in a while.
Do you read music or do you play tablet? You read music or do you play tablature?
I can read music or tab. I'm not as good at reading music as I used to be, though. So now it takes me forever. So I just like stay with tab.
Rubbers never play music or read music.
I read music.
For real?
It just doesn't have notes, but it has lines that tell you like which thing to hit.
Playing drums is
music.
Now. Play drum. Like that, right?
Exactly. Here, let me get out my Realistic Rock Drum Methods by Carmen Apiece.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I dropped out earlier, because I was like, I don't think my mic's working.
We can't hear your instrument.
Do you want to hear my instrument?
So there's like some drum beats or whatever. I don't know if it's like showing up, but it's like regular music.
Kind of. You ever seen like piano music? Though? Crazy.
Yeah, I mean each line. So like the top lines, your like your cymbal, then you got like snare and bass drum, and then if this had more stuff, these were just real basic, like learning to play drums or whatever. But otherwise, it'd have more lines, and those would be for your different toms and whatever.
Busting out the old guitar.
Oh snap! We got ourselves a band. You're the singer, buddy.
No, he's got that thing.
He was playing YouTube videos. He's not playing music.
The Jews harp?
If that's how he plays his fucking instrument, that's how he plays it.
Oh, dude, he's not. What are we freaking? Like, Daft Punk or something? Yeah. We're just gonna sample.
Well.
We will rock you. We will rock you. Buddy, yo, man, some big someday. You got mud on your face. Big disgrace, we're kicking your can all over the place. Singing, we will rock you. The Sound of Chaos. That should be our band name. Thanks, Moon.
Nice.
Let's all play different songs at the same time. Loud noises!
Like the most awful cave ever.
That sounded great.
I'm just waiting to hear like a real good like beat going so I can make something up to go behind it.
That's you and Angelina.
Yeah, I've been waiting for her to play something. Then I can make something up, and then you can do the guitar part.
She's the flea of the band.
The flea.
Who has a harpsichord? I need to tune this guitar.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why we don't sound good. The guitar was out of tune.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you call it? What do you call a tiny 12-string guitar?
Is
I
it
don't
a
know.
joke or a thing?
No, it's not a ukulele because it's got 12 strings. It looks more like
Oh, a mandolin?
oh, I have a mandolin.
Do you really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's one of my like goal instruments, I think. To play like some like Godfather shit, like. I mean, this
Time to
thing
go
is
to class. Nice.
Yep.
That's some damn good drumming, Smeggie.
Yeah, we jamming out or what?
And some great bass playing.
I'm trying to, I don't know.
Just invent something and play it.
I'm all twisted.
You're all twisted?
I'm trying to,
I'm trying to express my
and play it. Twisted.
I'm trying to,
I'm participating in
Is there an infinite feedback loop?
Fuck that dude. G-Webs is practicing with the sampler.
I'm not doing that.
yeah, he's trying to be a sampler.
Nice. DJ G-Webs.
Well,
Yeah, Clown Helmet.
he claimed he's not doing it. So then who's got the echo? Who's got the echo?
It's
Oh,
me.
John 12 gauge.
I don't think so.
Was it me?
I have no idea. I thought it was him. I thought he was doing it on purpose, but I guess it's just a fluke of the Hangouts. The world may never know. Jump in anytime, guys.
I jumped in.
Okay. Is that better?
It's a nicer pace.
It sounds so fucking bad.
You know, I remember this.
It's like 4 deaf people having speakers next to instruments.
See, here's the thing. Like, because my speaker or like my microphone's picking up me, I don't hear like the other people. And you guys probably like stop hearing the other ones when you start playing. I think I remember that from Raph. That was the problem. Was we couldn't really get in sync.
We need to get NSYNC
I love just
Bye.
and Backstreet Boys.
Apparently,
What
Backstreet Boys were just in town. My sister was going to their concert.
Oh, is she?
Backstreet Boys are just as good as NSYNC.
New Kids on the Block are the best. Duh.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
And
No.
KOTB, baby.
What's really the best is Justin Timberlake's solo.
Oh my goodness. Typical girl.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that's who came to town, was Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah, because he's on tour.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
who
that
it
makes
was.
more sense.
Yeah, because I remember when she told me, I did the whole that one song that he did. The I'm bringing sex it back. Yeah. And like there was a thing where that was on The Office, and like the one dude was like dancing all weird to it. And I just remember like we always used to like joke about that because he like did a thing with his shoulders, like the do 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 do, yeah, do 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 do, like being weird. And I remember I did that dance at Easter, and she left.
Oh.
So yeah, it was Justin Timberlake. I spoke out of turn.
Wait, you doing a Justin Timberlake song didn't impress some girl?
No, it did make my sister laugh because it was more doing the dance from The Office. Because the guy in The Office was like, I don't know, like obviously like purposefully like dorky. And I just remember from
Are you talking about Michael or Dwight or
Michael.
Oh, love him.
I just remember he did a weird thing like with his like shoulders or whatever that was like went along with the music, like the do 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 do, like he like moved them up and down real fast.
I don't think I've seen this, but I want to see it now.
Yeah, it exists.
I'm a new Office fan, like not a. I only started watching like 2 months ago.
What?
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I fucking hate Steve Carell, so I don't ever want to like see him. But now I like him, so now I like his character, so I like him now.
Who is he? Who is he? Is he the main?
Michael?
Yeah, he's the main manager guy, like who's always getting shit wrong or whatever.
He's in a lot of them. You can't really not watch him.
Yes, Moon. That's what happened to the 7-Eleven girl.
Oh, the 7-Eleven girl. What happened to her?
Apparently, my dancing got to her.
Who's 7-Eleven girl?
A girl that works at 7-Eleven a while back.
Oh, you had like a
There's been several
intimate
ongoing
encounter.
intimate relationships on gun channels.
Yeah, that was the I had a crush on 7-Eleven girl.
Angelina's only 33. I don't know if she's old enough to hear all the sordid details.
Oh, I think it's okay.
It's
We're the
okay
same
to-
age, so if it's okay for me to experience it, it's okay for you
Yeah.
to hear the story. But
You
anyways,
had a
one day I
crush?
was wearing one of G-Web's shirts, like one of the
Oh,
Gear website shirts. And she was like, "Wow, I really like that shirt." And I was like, "Yeah, it's awesome."
Wait a second. You were wearing a shirt like just a gun channel shirt or his actual shirt that you borrowed?
I was wearing a shirt that I purchased from
Okay.
a
Okay.
Gear website's
It sounded
design.
like at first that you were wearing a shirt.
No, I was wearing a shirt that I purchased with the Gear website's design on it. She's like, "I
Okay.
really like that shirt," and I'm like, "Yeah, this like my buddy made this, like this is his van and all that stuff, and he like did all the artwork for it." She's like, "That's really cool." And then like I went in there, I don't know, a few days later or something, and I forget what other shirt I was wearing, but she's like, "I really like that shirt too." And it was seriously like a record of like 5 times I went in there, I happened to be wearing a shirt that she liked. And I was like, "Wow, this is like going places." And then like there was one day I went up there with my buddy and like, we were just going up getting Slurpees or whatever. And she was like,
Hold
"Oh
on.
my
Now,
what?"
if you've been listening to this much of the story and you've taken a fondness for their relationship, you might not want to hear this part because this is where it gets dicey, and this is where you might.
Yes. Small children turn away. But anyway, somehow I forget what happened. Oh, I know what happened is
Different
that
when you're living it. When you're living it with Smeggie, and like one day he goes in and meets the girl, and then the next day he goes in and something else happens, and then like a week later another thing happens. So when you're hearing a summary, it makes it seem like less vivid.
Right. Well, it's like a exciting love drama.
right. And that's the thing. So this is like a week of every time I went up to like buy my Fago, she'd compliment my shirt and we'd joke around for, 5-10 minutes and I'd go home.
While you're buying your Fago.
Yeah. Well, I gotta drink Fago. Anyways, so then she was talking about like vaping or something, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to like quit smoking and I'm just vaping or whatever, but my boyfriend told me that I shouldn't do this either." And I was like, "Oh, she has a boyfriend." And I was like, "Why would he care if you vape or not?" She goes, "Well, because I'm pregnant." I was like, "Oh, double stab in the heart."
Yeah.
And then she got fired like 3 days later. So I was talking with the other girl that's actually she's still a 7-Eleven girl. I saw her earlier today. But anyways, I was talking to her. I was like, "What happened to like that other one? Like I haven't seen her in a while." She goes, "Oh yeah, she got fired. Like she would never like do any of the like the side work stuff that they had to do, like because she worked afternoon shift, so she always had to like count the cigarettes before midnight shift or like, clean the coffee pots or like, all that kind of crap you have to like do at some point during the shift. And she would like never do any of it, so they got rid of her.
Makes
Well,
sense.
she sounded like a mess.
Yeah. But she liked my t-shirts and she was a cute 7-Eleven girl. I mean, that's...
She would just like lean on the coffee machines during her whole shift and be like, and then he came in with this one shirt and it had a van on it and there was a little dog.
Oh, I know she was talking about me to the other one.
Oh, like the other one said that, oh, this guy came in
No.
with a sweet shirt.
We just know
No,
how
in my brain, I just know it.
a lot of it's a sense that you get as a guy. You wouldn't understand this, but we know what girls do when we're not around. We can tell.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I was under the impression that didn't happen, but I guess now you clued me in.
It probably happened.
Yeah, 7-Eleven girls talk. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just what they do.
But I've pivoted to new 7-Eleven girl, which is actually cooler than pregnant boyfriend one.
So is new 7-Eleven girl pregnant?
Not that I know of.
Have you asked?
I haven't asked. It'd be kind of weird. Oh, just here's $1 for my Fago. By the way, are you pregnant?
Just say, hey, so
You got a nice shirt. Wait a minute, are you pregnant? All right. Then you can like my shirt.
no, you could be like way slicker. You could be like, so what's in your uterus?
Oh yeah, does that
Oh my
work?
God.
Is that a good pickup line?
Like, do you have an IUD in there or like a fetus?
Any life forms inside you?
I don't want to get banned from 7-Eleven. It's right next to my house, and I like drinking Faygo.
And Slurpees.
I don't think you'll get banned. You're just asking.
I feel like if you asked the girl if she was pregnant, she'd be like, "Why do I look fat?" Like,
No,
wouldn't that be your
definitely.
first thought?
No, that's
Like,
why.
is my stomach sticking out? Is that why he thinks I'm pregnant?
That's why I'm saying you just ask what's going on in her uterus.
All right, I will give that a try at some point.
It's not the most attractive word, but works.
What if I call it a baby
Uterus isn't
oven?
attractive?
That's cuter.
Jesus.
So, how's your baby oven doing?
Then what if
That
she's like,
makes it
this
seem
guy
like
eats
you're creepy.
gross, and he cooks them?
You baking any bread in there or what?
Need any batter?
This is not going to make it into the top 10 Smeggie Cave. I can tell you what.
Yes, it is. This is the fucking best Smeggie
Wait a
Cave
minute,
ever.
a whole bunch of noise, and then we
And then creepy pickup lines too. 7-Eleven chick. I could jump in on my phone. Oh no, it's way after. Never mind. I was gonna say I could jump on my phone and go to 7-Eleven, but it's gonna be that dude.
One of the things I would do when I was young to attract the 7-Eleven girls would go in all the time and buy a big gulp. Never worked, but that was my strategy.
Nice.
See, apparently, if you buy a Slurpee at shift change, and then you stick around and you drink the Slurpee while talking to the girl that like just got off work when the midnight shift guy came in, you find out that the midnight shift guy thinks you're cute.
Yeah, I learned to stay
Yeah, I
away
would
from
couldn't-
7-Eleven girls a long time ago.
Oh, so is there
My
like a
friend-
possible avenue there?
No, Mikey doesn't work there anymore, and that's a different 7-Eleven chick. There's been many 7-Eleven chicks. I don't know if you know this, but it's kind of a high turnover type job. But yeah,
I've never seen a chick work at 7-Eleven, so
Really?
yeah, it's
What?
always like an Indian dude.
No.
Oh, there's like 2 chicks that work at my 7-Eleven.
I've not seen a chick ever work at 7-Eleven.
Well, here's the thing. They work at 7-Eleven until they find some dude and then get married. But that's...
Until some dude with a sweet t-shirt walks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think the day I make my move, I'm gonna wear that. I'm gonna wear that shirt because it is a sweet shirt.
So really, G-Web's my
Oh,
gay.
he's the perfect wingman. Yeah, he's the perfect wingman. Gearwebsites.com. Buy t-shirts. Perfect wingman.
Gearwebsites.com gets you laid. There's your next
Not
ad.
guaranteed. It's just assumed when you buy them. It's not guaranteed. It's just assumed.
Yeah, I don't want to put out false advertising because it didn't work the first time, but it got interest.
I'm gonna make an ad that's like a condom ad, but it'll be for gun channels.
Gun channels, you'll never have to worry about having babies. Hang out here.
But anyways, I was telling the story about the other thing. So for a while, this was back. It was like I don't know, right after high school. I guess maybe freshman year of college, something like that. Anyways, I would still live with my parents, and we were moving, and they were having a house built in like the one city, and we already sold our other house, so we lived in like this condo for a month that like some dude that my dad worked with had, and he wasn't using it. Like, you know, he had to pay for a year or whatever, and then no one lived there, so we rented it from him for a month or two, and it was right next to 7-Eleven. So I'd like be out doing stuff or working or whatever, and on the way home, I'd stop into 7-Eleven, grab a Slurpee, and there was a girl that worked there. She was on afternoon shift, and I guess I went to high school with her. Like, she knew me from high school, but it was one of those, like, I guess you kind of look familiar. Like, I didn't really know who she was.
The girl that worked there.
Who's playing the video?
Who said that?
Anyway,
That was me.
you
trying to
bum. So
Okay.
anyway,
Getting knocked off.
so
Like a noob.
I would sit around and like I drink my Slurpee and talk to her and like I said, and the midnight shift guy. And then like out of the blue one day, like I think I came in early or something, so like it was just her working there. And she's like, "Hey, this is kind of a shot in the dark." And I'm thinking like, okay, this I see what's going on here, you know? Like she's gonna be like, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend or whatever?" And she goes, "You're not gay, are you?" And I was like, "No, I'm not gay." She goes, "Oh, like Mikey's gonna be disappointed." So the midnight shift dude was gay and he thought I was cute. She goes, "Oh, well, he thinks you're cute." And I'm like, "Well, at least someone does."
You should have been gay for him just once.
Nah, it's not really my style.
You chop down one tree, it doesn't make you a lumberjack.
Mm-hmm.
So Zeus is saying never buy chocolate milk at 7-Eleven. Why is that?
I don't know. It's probably expired or something.
Well, wouldn't you check the date first?
If you were smart, you would. Maybe Zeus isn't smart.
Maybe that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I find 7-Eleven chocolate milk to be pretty exceptional for the most part.
I gotta buy a microphone for my DSLR.
Okay.
Oh, man. I kind of want to go to 7-Eleven now.
My 7-Elevens don't have microphones for anything.
Have you guys ever been to a come and go?
Seen them. Never went in there because I'm a dude.
Seen them.
Cause why?
Because I'm a dude. I'm not going to go in there.
Oh man, I love going in there.
What's a come and go?
It's a gas station chain based out of Des Moines, Iowa.
It's real.
It's real. It's spelled KUM ampersand GO.
I can only assume
Nice.
there's all kinds of foot tapping happening in that bathroom.
Yeah. They sell like shirts and like swag and shit. So they
Hold on.
know it's like a, you know.
Hold on. This, I think we're being trolled here. I bought some Tippy Cow today. Orange cream and chocolate. What is that?
Oh, Tippy Cow's a brand of chocolate milk.
So there's chocolate milk with orange in it?
That sounds weird.
Never heard of it.
If
Never heard of
Vanessa
orange
Kitty
milk.
says so.
Never heard of orange milk.
Yes.
Saying it's in
Maybe it
Utah
was
only? I
chocolate
don't
milk
think-
7-Eleven and it just turned orange.
I mean, usually if you put orange juice and milk together, that's not a combination that works.
Yeah, but like chocolate covered oranges are pretty good. Or
Okay.
or those I don't know if they're necessarily like actual oranges or whatever, right? Isn't there
No,
like a
those fucking round things that you like tap on the table.
Yeah, you gotta smack on the table. It's like an orange and it's chocolate, but it has
Okay.
like an orange flavorish to it. It's not overpowering though. Like that's the trick is that it's very like
It's very gross.
I don't think so. It's very mild orange. God damn it.
All right. Alcoholic cream based adult beverage with rum in it.
Is that rum chata?
No, that's the Tippy Cow stuff that she's talking about.
No.
Tippy Cow. Has a ring to the name.
Guess that makes sense. It'd be alcoholic because it's Tippy.
I don't drink alcohol, so
You don't?
I do not.
Nice. And you're vegetarian?
Yep. And I
Man,
don't
you're
own
gonna-
a microwave.
You're gonna live to a friggin' 100.
Probably not.
You don't own a microwave. How do you make food?
The stove.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Like a
sense to me.
toaster oven.
You cook stuff?
Well, yeah, I don't have a microwave.
I'm just messing with you.
I'd probably be okay without a microwave. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't microwave too much stuff. I mean, I do sometimes, but
I saw
I
this
like
thing where they boiled water on the stove, and then they boiled it in the microwave. Then they let it cool, and then they watered 2 of the same plants with it. And the one watered with the microwave water died. So, I don't know, that freaked me out. And then if that's not real, then what I've learned in this whole thing is that if you reheat food not in the microwave, it tastes better anyway. So really, I'm winning either way.
I'll give you that then. Microwaved reheated food, it doesn't taste the best.
Yeah, but in the toaster oven, I mean, it does take longer, but I mean, it's a lot better, I guess.
Yeah, and you're in laid back California. I mean, you got the time.
I don't know. I don't really have a lot of time.
You have 24 hours of it every day.
I have 24 hours of it, but I misuse 19
less
of
time.
them. So.
Well, yeah. If you're misusing 19 hours of your day, that does make for
I'm
a
sure.
short
I'm
amount.
sure I'm really misusing 23 hours of my day, but.
Are you saying hanging out in the Smeggie Cave is not the most productive thing you could do with your life?
I mean, it kinda is. What else would I be doing right now? Working. I already worked all day. Shouldn't I not work at night? It really keeps me from. This keeping me from working right now, which is probably the best thing for me.
Yeah, you need.
Oh yeah, I'm not speaking out against the Smeggie Cave. I just was asking if that's what you were insinuating when you said you waste a bunch of time.
Oh no, I mean I waste a bunch of time. What did I do today? Oh, so I'm looking for. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. I'm looking for a butthole because we're going to make a butthole patch. So.
So you got to find the right model. You got to find a perfect one.
Yeah.
When I think of a butthole patch, I'm going to think of a dog's ass. So, the brown hole of the dog's ass.
You don't want it too wrinkly,
Just really, I don't want to look at any other, I don't want to look at any buttholes, but I guess a dog's butthole would probably be the one butthole I guess I'd probably rather look at some other butthole.
Well, anyway, so it's going to be, this is a project we've been working on for 6 months now, but it's surprisingly hard to find a picture of, I guess what I have in my mind is an ideal butthole.
Well, my dog is a champion butthole model, so I'll make sure to send that pic over to you. So I have a mini pin, and he has that perfect one-eyed, that I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it stands out like a sore.
You probably don't.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's been a journey.
You need to put a call out on Instagram and maybe have
oh my god,
professional butthole models, DM you.
I'm thinking just get Tinder for a day.
See, that was suggested to me already. Hey, why don't you just send me a picture, and then if we use your butthole, I'll send you a free patch. And I said, you know what, dude, I'm just not going to do that. I'd rather just find an internet one that's anonymous.
Oh my god!
Damn, I really wanted a free
Smeggie
patch.
Caves. Yeah, I bet you Smeggie looks pretty decent.
I feel when I put pictures out of my places, then I don't expect them to be made into patches by somebody else. I don't even know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, if someone happens to see it and they're like, "Oh, that's familiar."
I think I can honestly say I would not be able to pick mine out of a lineup. I have no idea what's going on back there.
I think most people wouldn't. I mean, I dare say most people would not. But
Let's not speak for everyone.
well, yeah, I won't speak for everyone because I know a lot of like gay dudes that really pay a lot of attention to that. But the point is that I probably spent like an hour Googling butthole and various forms of it.
So what you're
That's a
saying
tough
is Google
job.
ruined you now. Now you're like this ruined on that.
What?
Like Google root must have ruined you. It's like if I spend an hour Googling buttholes, dude, like I don't know. I might off myself. Just saying. Like I don't even know.
Oh, see, the thing is that I'm so like fucked up is that doesn't even really faze me. What I was very surprised about is that there weren't more buttholes when I Googled buttholes.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thinks that's their best part to put anywhere.
While I agree, I fully agree with that statement. What I've learned in the past, like however long I've had access to the internet, is that people will literally jerk off over anything. So somebody's into buttholes, so there has to be like a buttholes.com.
I don't know what to say.
All I'm gonna say is I wish you luck in your adventure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do hope you find the perfect butthole you're looking for.
Well, when the patch is complete, then I'll let you guys know.
Why don't you just use your imagination of what a good
Well,
one would look like?
it's not so much a butthole, but I also think of like Bart Simpson of The Simpsons. Like when I think of like a butt, he was always like mooning people. So like I don't know. I can't like when butthole comes to mind. Like I just can't think of anything other than I don't know. Like nothing. Can't even imagine what a patch like that would say or be like. I don't
It
even
was
know.
just gonna be. It's just gonna be. I'll tell you now. I mean, everyone, leave your phones at the door so you don't steal my idea.
You know this is going live to everyone, and this is clearly going to be a very popular chat.
All right. Well, if someone's gonna rip me off, then I have a team of lawyers. Just remember that.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so it's just gonna be a round patch, right? Because butthole, and it'll
Checks
be
out so far, yeah.
it'll be sublimation. So it'll be an actual. That's why like the whole like good butthole is important. So it'll be sublimation.
And you
So
think
it'll
this is
be
going to
like
be
an actual butthole.
this is going to be a big seller?
I'm confident you'll find the image you're looking for in the end.
I think it will be a big seller.
All right.
I mean,
I
but
might
am
buy
I
two.
doing it for the money or am I doing it for
For the love
love.
of buttholes.
the
For
love?
the love. Yeah.
You know, that's what I found in the butthole industry is it's just gotten so commercial recently.
What sublimation? People in the chat. What sublimation is?
Sublimation, I think it's actually called dye sublimation. So basically I print out a picture of the butthole using gel ink on a special paper. And then I have a blank patch. So, well, what it's going to be is a piece of polyester fabric because polyester will hold the dye from the gel ink. So then we get a heat press and we heat that bitch up to like 395 to 400 degrees. Put the paper on the fabric and then press it for like probably a minute. And when that heats the ink up to that temperature, it'll turn to a gas and then adhere to the substrate, which is the patch material. Then we'll feed it through a mirror and Velcro it.
I just got schooled.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to school. I was just trying to be thorough.
Pants out there.
Definitely schooled.
So it is true. Women are looking for assholes.
Yeah.
That's been my experience, 7-Eleven girl.
Yeah.
While already
Women are
having
too
a
much
boyfriend and
trouble.
stuff. I'm not bitter or anything.
I mean, if you want to be on like the mailing list for when the patch goes out, you can sign up on my website, which is owlandanchor.com.
Owlandanchor.com.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can get your, butthole patch needs.
Yeah. We also have a couple other new patches coming, so
Yeah, you're gonna put out that one that you were making on the stream with the ARs.
which one are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, I forget now. It's 2 a.m. The awesome one that you were doing, and I was drawing a pink Glock.
I don't know.
My toes are cold.
Why?
I don't know. They're just cold.
Did you put on socks?
I'm wearing socks, yes.
I enjoy socks.
What kind of socks?
It's a good question.
I like to wear Puma socks myself.
I enjoy darn tough socks.
Is that a brand name or just...
Yeah, they're USA, made in Vermont, guaranteed for life. If they rip, they send you a free pair of socks.
Are you serious? Because I get holes in my socks all the fucking time.
Dude, darn tough. DARNTOUGH. Made in Vermont. Some of the best socks I've ever worn.
They have like ankle
I'm gonna have
socks?
to check that out because, like, seriously, I have a legitimate issue of like wearing a hole in the toe of my socks.
They have ankle socks, all the way up to, I think, maybe calf-high socks. Made
What are they
right here
made
in
out
good
of?
old USA. Merino wool.
Oh, okay, that's what I was gonna say because I like wool. So
Yep. Yeah.
fuck yeah, man. Thanks, bro. I'm gonna tell my mom about that because she was bitching at me the other day about ideas for birthday gifts, and I never have any idea.
Oh, dude, they're great.
I
Also,
did really good this past Christmas. I came up with like 5 or 6 ideas, and then she ended up like getting me all that stuff. And so now she's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "What the fuck? I already came up with 6 ideas for Christmas. Like, you want me to like know stuff that I want? I don't know."
yeah, I got them. I got a whole batch for a deployment that I was going on back in the day, and I mean they've lasted since then. Like I haven't had any. Well, I did have some trouble. That's how I know they'll send you a free pair of socks, but they last for a long time.
But they're like legit lifetime warranty type stuff.
Legit.
So like, it seriously could be like the last pair of socks I ever buy.
They're the last socks, last brand of socks I've ever bought.
So G-Web said you were talking about the join or die flag.
Yes.
Yeah, that is becoming a patch.
Heck yeah.
It should be becoming a patch as we speak. Or the mold being cut at least.
That's awesome.
I just want to say that if I was really, really rich, the one thing that I would like spoil myself on would be I would wear a brand new pair of socks every day for the rest of my life and never wear it the same pair.
Oh no.
Fuck yeah, dude. If I was super rich, I would have like socks trucked in like every single month, like, a package of 30 socks for that month in advance, like maybe more, because I might even wear 2 or 3 pairs a day. And because, dude, there is nothing in this world like just putting on a brand new pair of socks right out of the fucking package. Just like, damn, like that is just the best feeling. And they're all fluffy and comfy. And then after you wash them, they go to they instantly just go to shit. It's
No,
just not
I mean, I see what you're getting at, but I feel like they have to go through like one wash just to get them like a little stretched out and a little fuzzier
Oh
because
no.
you start getting little things.
I guess it depends on the socks. Like I don't know. Like I want them like
I mean,
fluffy.
I get what you're saying. I'd probably do that as well, but I'd be like, all right, like it has to be like once worn socks or something.
Yeah, then I might even hire a guy. Like every time I bought me a new pair of shoes, I might even hire a guy to like walk around in them for a day just to break them. There you go. Go break in my shoes for me. Go take my dogs for a walk. There you go.
See, I don't know about that either because like you want it to break into your foot. So I guess if you found like the perfect foot model that has the exact same like foot as you.
I hate wearing like brand new shoes. Like the first day I wear brand new shoes, they always suck. It's like always like the first day or two, they always suck, and then old socks suck. So you stand in some sort of a moldable plastic, right? And then that makes a form of your foot, right? So that's perfect.
Oh, there you go. That would work.
Now you go to somebody younger than you, probably a kid, and then you make them wear them foot forms for most of their life until they
Oh, that's not what I was thinking you were gonna say.
size, right? Same shape. Then you make them walk around like that horse is saying.
All right, I guess yeah, if you want to get into like, reshaping people's feet, but I guess I thought what you were getting at is you make a mold of your foot and then like you cast it, and then so when you get new shoes, you put the shoes on like the foot mold and then have like a machine that walks on a treadmill or whatever, and that would break it in.
A robot? No, I'm not going to recommend a robot.
I like the I mean, what would you really call that? The child slavery?
Technically, but what is that kid going to grow up and be a doctor? Probably not.
But now they got a purpose for being.
What, do you want a robot to take their job? I mean, I guess.
Human jobs matter.
Yeah, it's a human.
And it's not like you're really hurting them because I mean,
No, they
you're
won't.
living with that size foot, so it's not like you're not like disfiguring them. You're just making them have the same foot as you.
Now, they have to do something while they're waiting for their foot to conform to your shape. So, maybe they do work around the house or something. It's just economical, really. It's not really slavery. You'll feed them, probably.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, you're rich, so you got the money, so you can pay them.
Now Moon is going to sleep again because he doesn't like the socks topic.
Oh, maybe I'll play my drums again. Get him to wake up.
Yeah, I could talk socks all day.
I've never thought that much about socks.
I'm a sock nerd.
So I figured out which socks I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Duluth socks.
Oh, those are nice too.
And these are like the lightweight wool, so it's like the wool blend.
Yeah, I like Duluth.
But my toes are cold, so maybe I shouldn't be wearing the lightweight socks. I should be wearing like the winter ones.
Maybe midweight.
I don't know. I'm probably just dying and don't have any circulation.
There you go.
That's the way
It's
to
not
look
like
on the
it's-
bright side.
How
It's not
do
like
you wear
super
like
cold in my
really,
house. It's like 60 something.
you have really, really tight jeans?
I do not have tight jeans.
On at the moment or in general?
I do not own tight jeans. I'm not wearing jeans at all at the moment, but I certainly don't own tight jeans. So even if I was wearing jeans, they'd be like the baggy, like carpenter fit or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy that he like proclaims really loud about how he's not wearing pants.
I said I'm not wearing blue jeans.
Are blue jeans are or are not pants?
They are pants.
All right.
But
I mean,
that
there's
does
a
not
lot of
mean I'm
holes
not.
in your story.
Just because I'm not wearing blue jeans doesn't mean I'm not wearing pants.
True.
Because all blue jeans
There's
are
different
pants, but not
kinds.
all pants are blue jeans.
Should we ask Pants about the pants?
Expert.
Those pantaloons?
I think we need the expert opinion. This is the best Smeggie Cave there's ever been.
At least top 5.
Top one.
Since I've been listening. So
I would have to politely disagree with your judgment.
That's okay. Mineral is wrong.
I mean, I'm glad people are having fun and enjoying it, but I prefer some of the other caves we've had in the past.
That didn't talk so much about butts and have noise.
Yeah, although I did enjoy playing my drums. I just don't think that makes for a good, entertaining video.
And some sock talk.
A good Los Cave aloneness.
All right, so instead of just wasting time and being weird and awkward, so then people are going to be going to Tulsa. 20 people potentially. Most of them are staying at the same hotel. Sounds like a lot of them are going to be doing some of the same adventures together, like going to the museum tour and going to the range, I think, as a group. Then, of course, the 2 days of the show. So, I don't know. Is there something? I'm thinking we're cutting edge here. I guess it's possible that like AR-15 or some of the larger forums have sent people. Actually, I know that some of the larger forums used to send people as a group into trade shows and things like that. But if there's anything anybody's seen, that worked from those kind of adventures, or that you can think of, what kind of things can 20 people accomplish at the world's largest gun show that an individual or the 3 of us couldn't do last year? Or what way can we cut new ground and do something that's never been done before? Maybe it saves the Second Amendment.
That's a good question.
Now I want to waffle.
I don't know. Like, what I don't see people doing is I see people reporting like, hey, look, there's a gun show. They had guns. I saw guns. Kind of a thing. But, like, I don't know. Like, when I personally go to a gun show, like, I'll talk to people, and then a lot of those guys will have good information or stories or shit like that. And that's what I don't see anyone report on, is, like, actual just, like, just a straight-up conversation with, like, one of the sellers or something. Just like a straight up this convo.
Yeah, especially if they're like, more collector type and have like, whatever, like really cool stuff.
Like actual stuff as opposed to just commodities. Like we have some pistols, we have some blah, blah, blah. They're a little bit lower than retail and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's got to be some like CNR type people that have like cool stuff. Like you said, like a story that goes along with it. Like this actual... Like,
like this gun is
on the table went to this battle or some shit.
500 with this stock, and like, and like all this good information that these guys have, and just like I learned that at gun shows. Like
an open-ended question to them, like, what's the oldest gun on your table, or what's the item that you've brought to more gun shows than any other item here today, or which is the most
expensive or worth?
Yeah, like some question that makes them start talking about their table specifically, or how many times have you been to this show? I think that would be a good one, right? Since it's specifically we're trying to get, that show some coverage.
Right, and then maybe like what their, I don't know, I'm trying to think how to say it without trying to like spin it, but like, what do you... Like, what are some stories like from past shows or whatever? Like, did you ever have like a awesome weekend where you sold all your shit?
Oh, dude, can you imagine the stories that would come out? What's your craziest gun show story? Like the guys that do nothing but like travel around to gun shows and sell shit. Like, that's really good stories.
That's a good one. Or what's their most inspiring? Like, what's the coolest thing that's happened at a gun show? What's the thing that made your jaw drop at a gun show or something like that? So that they have to think about it and then tell you some extreme thing. That'd be cool.
So I would kind of be interested
But
from
like,
their point of
you know,
view, how they think like the I
Let
don't know
me
if the industry is going the right way, but like how are like gun shows going? Like maybe they say, oh, we used to have way more people, or oh, we like the last couple of years we've had so many more like new gun buyers. It's been really, invigorating. People are buying their first guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be an interesting, because that's one of the questions that I would nerd out on, is from that aspect of like how many shows have you been to, and if they say more than a few, like that.
Like, yeah, how does like present day compare to like when you first got into it or something? Like,
Maybe when was your first gun show or something? That might be interesting.
I'll say I've probably been to like, I don't know, I haven't counted, but I've probably been to like maybe 100 gun shows in my life or something. I've been to a lot of gun shows, and I think probably the most valuable thing I've ever gotten out of any of them wasn't like a gun or ammo or an accessory or something. It was literally like the meeting people and some of the conversations and stories I've heard, and just just literally like the BSing and stuff. And just I don't know.
It's not it's not the stuff, and it's not the individual shows. It's for me. I think I agree with you that it's more for me the recharging of my battery. So I remember that there's a shit ton of different people that like guns for all different reasons, and we're all awesome. And that's sometimes you forget that shit if you're just doing your thing. So that's definitely a big part of it. It's like recharging the gun batteries.
yeah, I mean, I've only been to like a handful of gun shows, and I have to say, some of them I was a little disappointed in, because
You hate guns and you hate gun shows.
Yeah,
no, I
remember
mean
my
it
first
literally
gun
was like every table was just the dude who packed up the stuff from his shop and went to the gun show, which I get it. That's the only other place they can do business other than like the address on their FFL and whatnot. But it's like it was just a table of like modern handguns and like nothing special, nothing crazy. And then you walk to the next one, and that dude has the same guns the first guy did. And you go to the next one, and they had all the same. Like I said, not all of them or anything. I'm just saying specifically that, like, the one I'm thinking of was like, oh man, this is like, I wanted to see more like personal collections or older stuff. It was all just new in box, Glocks and M&Ps and whatever, Rugers and like fine stuff. I mean, the guns were fine, but just it wasn't like.
There's a lot of people going, and we're also learning how to coordinate and communicate with each other in a situation like this, where people are coming from literally all different directions in on one central location. And right now they're doing it the most convenient way, or the most efficient way, right? A giant email with everybody's addresses, not blind copy to each other. So now we're sending a massive email back and forth to everybody with our phone numbers. So we're basically emulating what a bunch of old people would do if they were using the internet for the first time. It's driving me nuts. It's not because I spent the last 4 years building a platform that can definitely take care of all that, but there's just, everybody's at a different place and whatever. So I'm thinking some of these suggestions I think are good, and I'm going to put like a reply to that email or something with some bullet points, so that people, like, I know a couple of people without naming names have been like, I haven't done this before. It's, I guess, I don't understand. Maybe it's taunting or whatever. It's like intimidating thinking about.
Well, I don't know what to do.
Right. So maybe this would give them a little direction. I know that that's worked with our crews in the past when they were like, I don't know what to do. Like, okay, well, ask this question then. Done. Like, just ask this question to everybody. And, having 3 or 4 questions might make it a little easier for them. Give them
what I always do is I walk up to a table, I see an interesting gun, I just literally say these words. So what's the story on this gun? That's what I say. And then sometimes it's like, oh no, I just got that in today from some other guy. But other times it's like, oh man, I've had this gun for 20 years. Da da da. It's like it was with me in Alaska. I mean, sometimes you hear like these really cool stories, stuff like that, and yeah, just like kind of conversations with other gun people and stuff. Especially someone who does nothing but travel around, having a table, selling shit.
They live for those conversations, and that's perfect because they say guns, if guns could talk, but the guy who's selling the gun can certainly talk usually.
But sometimes they'll tell you a cool history about that specific model of gun, like, oh, they only made that gun for 2 years, and they only made 500 of them.
Yeah, usually a
stuff
reason
like that, just stuff you had no idea, and you're like, oh, now I know that this gun's like pretty rare. It might be worth something.
Well, there's usually a reason why somebody owns one, and they're passing that along to you as knowledge. And if you appreciate it and are, oh, I didn't know that, I'm added to my collection, and now I can let people know, like, that's why I have this one, because it's one of, like you said, like 1 of 500, or it's the left-handed version, or whatever it is.
That's the stuff I like to soak up. So, like, like whenever time I go to a gun show, that's what I walk away. It doesn't even matter if I leave with like a new gun that day or whatever. It's like I'm probably left with better information and having a better time just talking with these guys and listening to stories and stuff. And sometimes I'm not even in the conversation. Sometimes I just like walk up to a table and there's two guys already talking, and then their conversation's like so fucking interesting. I'm just like, there's nothing even on the table I'm really interested in, but I just kind of stay there looking at shit just to finish listening to this conversation that these guys are having.
I've done that. I've definitely done that. You know where I like doing that at? Because sometimes in a gun show it can be kind of random. Every once in a while you'll find a cool conversation. But at that one in Vegas that happens usually right after SHOT Show, it's an antique gun and knife show. That one's interesting. The people that sit around bullshitting at that one are all like very interested in those old guns and antiques and expensive shit and rare stuff. So they usually have some interesting stories that are, well, it's never like, what kind of pants are you wearing or whatever we were talking about before.
Right. That was one of the things. Yeah, that show in Vegas was pretty awesome, and I guess that's what I had expected. Like, oh, gun shows will be like this. Like, it's all like people that have collections and like interesting rare stuff or weird things or whatever. And that was pretty cool. And I did that with a few stuff because that's some of the stuff I didn't really know what it was, but I knew it kind of looked cool. So I talked to a few people about that. Like kind of what you said, like, hey, what's the story? What's the, I was like, basically like, why is this one cool? And they let you know.
I do that like every time when I'm at a gun show and I see a gun and I have no idea what it is. I'm like, what the hell's that? I'm like, what's this gun? Like, what's this about? Like, I've never seen a gun like this before. Like, and then I ask him if I can pick it up because I have rules that I try to abide by at gun shows. Like, I never pick anything up off anyone's table without asking first. I never dry fire anything without asking first. I just stuff like that. Like, not even like other merchandise because, like, gun shows can be kind of touchy about stuff like that. But, I mean, I want someone kind of there watching me like handle the gun because if someone else like came along before me and dropped it or nicked it, I don't want to be blamed for that shit, And I've seen that happen before at a gun show where a guy started freaking out that like someone like had damaged one of his guns on the table. And he didn't know who, so like I don't know. Like, I kind of want them watching me while I handle the guns just so they know like, hey, look, this guy didn't do anything to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And usually they have signs on the tables that say like "Don't touch without permission" or something like that, but not always. So I just have made it a habit just always ask, "Hey, can I pick this up? Can I look down the board? Can I dry fire it? Are you okay with that?" Because some people are just real touchy about certain things, like, "Oh, I don't want you dry firing my gun. You're gonna break them. You dry fire, stuff like that." So I just make sure I ask before I can do anything like that.
What's the worst like accident that you've seen happen at one? I've seen like a pile of rifles go down, and then the guy like, whoa.
Not an accident, but like a deliberate thing. Is I saw a guy flip over a whole table. Like some like bed. He looked like maybe like a 40 or 50-year-old bed of something, and it was right after 9/11, and a guy was selling a bunch of these like polymer type knives and keychains, like stabbing things, but they were all made out of like Glock polymer or something, right? And a guy saw him and got really pissed and was like started yelling that like these are what the terrorists used to hijack the planes and all this shit. And the guy was like, no, if the guy who was at the table was all like, no, if the people on the planes would have had these, they would have been able to defend themselves. And it just got into this really fucking heated argument. I mean, loud, right in the middle of a gun show. And you know how loud a big gun show can be. And like these guys, like everyone just heard it. And then the one guy got so pissed, grabbed the other guy's table and flipped it over, like all of his shit. There was guns, knives, everything on the table, like a big 6 foot long folding table, like packed full of shit, and literally flipped that whole thing over on the floor. And that guy got arrested. Cops came and everything. But that's the worst thing I've ever seen at a gun show. And there's really no violence other than flipping out the table. Like no one got beat down or pulled a gun or anything. But it got really fucking heated, man.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. That was kind of a very touchy subject, and
oh, yeah, and it was literally like a month. Like we had this gun show like a month or two after 9/11. I think it was like in November. That's usually when it comes through again, is in November's, and it was literally like just a couple months right after 9/11. So it was really still a hot topic and stuff, you know. A lot of people were still really upset about it, but one guy just took it way too fucking far, just all because of what one guy was selling on his table, which was just like plastic knives. That guy was correcting them, saying, no, they used box cutters, and if people would have had these, they could have defended themselves. And the guy who was selling was like trying to be like cool about it, but the other guy just lost his fucking mind. Flipped out over plastic knives. And he was at a gun show. I mean, like, what kind of gun guy is like, I don't know, what kind of gun guy flips the fuck out over a plastic knife? Like, I don't know, man. Just let me go to a gun show. I want to buy guns, but plastic knives, I'm not okay with. You're not allowed to have plastic knives. It shows you just how different, like, gun people are, can be.
So another question I had, logistically, with 20 people showing up, any strategies for keeping 20 people aware of what the group is doing or what the general plans are? I mean, we have gun channels, and I can technically do anything I want to gun channel. So
Twitter?
no, like, is there? I don't know.
You want like a more private way to kind of communicate with each other?
I guess so, or
like
just maybe
text, because you can do a group text and put everyone in one group text.
yeah, but that can get super annoying at the
yeah.
same time.
When everyone, like 4 people, especially with 20, but when I've had them with, even at the last Tulsa, it wasn't so much these guys are gossiping with each other, but just with 6 or 10 people, you know, hey, where were you at? Or where was that rifle? Or can you bring me water? You know, little stuff turns into like beep, 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 all day.
On Instagram, you can have, I think, up to 12 people in a group direct message or whatever. In your direct messages, you can put everyone in a group, but I think it only holds a dozen.
With too many people, though. So I'm thinking more of a system or more of a...
Well, can't you make a channel? Like, can you make a...
I can definitely make a channel on gun channels.
Make squads and make a squad leader.
That's what I was thinking, more like a system, like what Dead Horse has gone to, I think. Because a channel, even, I mean, I guess technically if gun channels are working perfectly and we had a mobile thing going, a little easier. But right now, with the number of people using different phones physically, right, operating systems or whatever, and then models, physical sizes of phones, and then gun channels basically having a mobile side, but it's not enhanced. I haven't worked on it at all. I'd hate to, you know how it is with people now, just trying to go into a chat, let alone like, let's all use this as a form to communicate. It'll just turn into like, you know, 14 people okay with it and 6 people never being able to utilize it, so they wouldn't be part of it. So I'm thinking more like that, like instead of having everyone on the same group text, we're going to have some automatic teams with like husbands and wives, right? And then I imagine some people are going to hang out with each other or something, but maybe some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of a way to group it up. Like I say, I haven't done enough of that. When I've done it with the military, there was no issue. Like there's a chain of command and there's a hierarchy. You just do it. And that's part of the reason you have all that. With businesses I've done it with, I just wasn't a part of the thing like that. I just wasn't at that. I just hadn't had to do it. So I'm wondering if anybody's had any experience with either family or business or just recreationally church or civic organization that had a bunch of people get together for some sort of an event, and what ideas you might have had. Like I say, ours so far have just been this big group email, and then Cycle set up an event on gun channels that people have been using to kind of
Right, yeah, I've seen that where they you can post on the event or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely the group text thing I can see, like, because that's what happened at SHOT Show. And it was fine because then everyone kind of knew what was going on. Like, hey, I'm heading up to the media room.
There is a reason to have a group text, but to use it as the main form would kill everybody. But if it was like, we're going to use these for the main emergency / major communications, where we're eating dinner together, or like where we're going to meet up, that, or if there's a major change or like 911 emergency type of shit, somebody's got, an issue, run. But otherwise,
yeah, I don't know the best way to do that then, yeah. That's one thing with the group text too, like when someone's like, "Oh, we're going to for dinner or whatever." And then like you get 7 different people saying like, "Okay, and what about this?" And it's like, dude, you don't all have to reply. Like just look at it and be like, "All right, great." Like you don't have to all reply to it. I'm not sure if I'm having connection problems or if G-Webs is or something, because it sounded like he was kind of cutting out or whatever. I don't mean to be talking over you if we're saying stuff.
I think you cut out.
Super offended. I'm super offended, and I muted so I can find this. I'm gonna get 20 of these.
There you go.
And then they'll be like, "I'm over near the table." And then somebody will be like, "So am I."
Oh, okay. I had to wait for the thing to pop up because I'm on the gun channel side, not not looking at the Hangout. So I had to wait for the delay to see what you were talking about. Seriously though, like what about those like the little walkie-talkie things?
Two-way
radio? Go to channel 7 or whatever.
2 ways?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking that's a way to do it. And I was going to say it would be cool to have like a Hangout, but that would assume that everybody's got internet and that.
What about Boxer, the phone app?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's like a walkie-talkie thing, I guess. But with your phone.
We'd all have to have radios, and then
I think there's an app. Yeah, there's an app for your phone that you can use over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi networks that's just like walkie-talkie. So if you're close enough for Bluetooth, which is, I don't know, I think maybe like, I don't know, probably depends on your phone and what Bluetooth you have, but probably like 100 yards. But definitely inside of a building or something, probably.
Well, it sounds like maybe there's an opportunity for us to try a couple of different methods then, and different people to try different things, and then we can recount at the end, decide what worked best, and then.
Is Hosh or Brandon going? Those guys each have like 30 radios. They could just bring a radio for everybody.
No, Hosh is too busy. And Brandon didn't talk about it. I don't know what his deal was with it. Probably hates guns now.
I mean, even with the walkie-talkie thing, though, I was just, I was thinking out loud, and then now I'm thinking about it more. Is like, that would get kind of annoying if you're sitting there like, talking with someone or like doing it, like doing the interview, you forget to turn the thing down, and all of a sudden someone jumps in and is like, "Hey, you fucking assholes!" Blah blah blah. Like I remember, the phones that had that, the chirp chirps.
Balls on your face.
Yeah, like just in like the middle of class, you'd hear someone's phone go off. You're like, "Hey man, did you get that fucking drugs or whatever?" It's like,
Fucking drugs.
Hey, did you get that drugs?
well, I don't know what
You need them drugs.
I don't know.
Drugs. I
I
told
don't
you
know
that
shit about
drugs.
drugs, but you know what I mean? Like there'd be
I'm looking for that unit of drugs from the supplier.
I'd like 1 drugs, please. Let me get a dosage of drugs from you.
That already sounds too technical. Now you're some kind of drug.
Well, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like nerd druggy. I don't know what to tell you.
Nice try, ATF. Get out of here. Ban this guy. We caught him. He's a fucking mole.
Long game.
Okay, narc. 1 drugs, please. Get out of here, narc. But no, I just remember, like I said, back in the day, my friends had that stuff, and that was, end of high school, beginning of college, and
They
so
had one drugs.
you'd hear stories of their phone going off or whatever, and some guy was just, "Oh man, you were so drunk last night." Like that's your opening line. Like I never liked how the phone could just fucking start talking. Like you just get unsolicited noises coming from your phone. And walkie-talkies that's basically what they are. Although in work scenarios, I mean, I used walkie-talkies at work quite a bit when I was in the factory, and it's like, yeah, you just, you listen to the maintenance channel or whatever. So yeah, you can hear what everyone else is doing. But then when you need something, you just chime in and, "Hey man, like, hey pipe fitters, you got a copy? Yeah, meet me over at so and so."
10-4.
Exactly.
12,
10-4, copy that. What's your 20? All those wonderful words. Fully semi-auto drugs. So yeah, I don't know. This will be an interesting organizational experience.
I'd like to, with 20 people, I think we have an opportunity, like say, to test maybe just like our look on ourselves. What cameras are we bringing? What vehicles? What communications worked good? What kind of stuff we seen or wanted to see, right? So that, like I say, I think it'd be neat to.
Is this a Tulsa show now?
This cave, you mean?
Yeah, is this a Tulsa cave?
Oh, I'll turn it all Tulsa if we have to. Or if you'll let me.
Are you
One of
going
the
to
things that'd be
Tulsa?
pretty cool, and I think you can get this set up beforehand. Again, going back with the gun channel stuff, so maybe people like are still at home, is if there are people going that are specifically looking for stuff, like having 20 eyes or 20 sets of eyes looking for, whatever, the specific.
That's crazy. I never thought about that too. Like just help comb. Like, hey, I need a 50 BMG for my collection. Boom, 20 people.
Right, and then someone can reply, table 598 has one, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of like what we did with SHOT Show, is like, who wants to, like, we asked everyone out there, like, what do you want to look at? And people
Except
put in
it's
company
different.
names, and then we
Different than SHOT Show, because now it's not like this is here and we know it's here because Ruger made it and they're showing it off and everybody wants to see it. Now it's like a gun show where who knows what's there. So imagine some kind of a bingo type of scavenger hunt, because it's not like everybody's going there to just buy. A couple of these rich sons of bitches are going there to just buy stuff, lord it over us. But the rest of us are just going there to do stuff, right? So maybe some kind of
what would be cool is like do a thing like who can find like the oldest gun there, or the most
Yeah,
expensive gun. So it's like you go around and you keep track of the thing,
Mhm.
and then you all compare notes at the
Well,
end.
every night, right? Like who found the oldest gun? Boom, you win. You get some sort of a. Angeline has to make you some kind of sticker, and then like who's got the roundest gun, and then boom, Angeline's got to make some kind of sticker.
I don't know about that.
I'm liking this idea.
I definitely like the scavenger hunt
Angelina's
idea.
not even going to Tulsa.
That means you got all the more time to make patches while we're looking around and buying stuff and having a good time and going out to eat at various Oklahoma vegan restaurants. The Loaded Bowl, for example, one of my favorite vegan restaurants ever. We'll be going there, and you can be making patches for us that we can, maybe pay attention. We'll be like, oh, thanks, and then we'll just keep talking about whatever we're
Thanks for
talking about.
going. We're going out for the night. See you later, bitch.
Hey, thanks for those patches or stickers or whatever it was, the decals. We'll acknowledge them, but not quite
Right.
enough amount of effort you put into them.
I guess that sounds worth it.
I mean, I like the idea just for bragging rights, but
No, but seriously, if we did some sort of some kind of scavenger hunt type of thing, or somehow, what if people at the show teamed up with home viewers, and then they were your, what do you call it when there's like the big fat guy on the computer for you, and you're doing the business like the adventure, and then there's the big fat guy.
Like your M,
No, because M is M.
like Money Penny kind of thing.
No, it would have been Q, right? M is just the guy.
Oh yeah, I guess Q. I guess.
Microchip from the Punisher. He was a big fat guy in the comics.
No, he would be giving us guns though, and none of you people are going to be giving us guns.
Yeah, true.
Now I'm going. Now it's like I'm going, and I'm going to be.
Are you
running.
going?
No, I don't know. I want to go.
Why are we even talking about this? You don't even know if you're going.
Because I feel like the people that are going from gun channels will be like,
what do they call it? What do they call it? Co-pilot.
avatars.
I think everyone liked the cave better when it was about buttholes.
What did they call it? What do they call the race car co-pilot driver who's like reading the map for the driver and all that?
Yeah,
the navigator.
The navigator.
Second place.
Yeah, there you go. Like, so yeah, have them team up with the navigator.
Yes, exactly. And now you win prizes. Again, Angelina makes stickers or something.
Oh, you could do like a theme like Flight of the Navigator. You guys see that movie?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. This kid gets like picked up by this spaceship, which is like an alien, and then like it drops him back off, but it's like he like goes to this like government research thing or whatever because the government's all like, oh, she's crazy, and then he like finds the spaceship there, and then they take off. And they fly around the universe and stuff. It's cool. But he's the navigator because the kid has like star maps in his brain, like the robot spaceship alien thing, whatever it was, like downloaded the shit into his brain, and so then he had to take them with him to get the star maps.
How much does it cost? $0. How much does it cost to park? $0. Because we have press passes, we get to go in for nothing, and it doesn't cost anything to park there.
But for normal people, I mean, it's probably similar to most gun shows, right? Like $10 or something, maybe.
Yeah, it's not the most expensive gun show considering it's the largest gun show. It's like $8 or something. I think Vanessa also said something about the food, and that's another thing that I can't tell you how many of these events I've gone to with different scale of participants, right? Size and whatever you want to call scale, number of participants. And that's the worst part about every single freaking time is getting a bunch of people together. It's like trying to herd spaghetti and then decide what spaghetti's going to eat. And then the times and the place and the types. Oh my goodness. And then we have so many people, there's no way we'd kill a restaurant, right? So I'm certainly hoping that they can come up with something to not turn it into, okay, everybody's just going to split and go eat, because that's going to not go good with everybody getting together and having a hangout, right? Because everybody will go eat for hours and then I go back in and it'll be like maybe an hour worth of getting together before everybody has to leave and go sleep again. or just
I know.
leave. Some people will be leaving for the night each night. There's so many people showing up that it's not like everybody's there for the whole time.
I say the biggest thing when you're talking about grabbing the food and stuff, and that's, I'm guilty of it. I think probably most people are, of like, oh, where you want to eat? Oh, I don't care, wherever. And I mean that. I really, like, I'm not picky, like, wherever. But at the same time, if everyone's like that, it's like someone's got to, like, step up and be the ringleader. Just I learned that when I was traveling for work. I'd be out there and we'd be getting 3 or 4 people together, and it's hard to figure out where to eat. So I just, like, started picking stuff. And it's like, if you don't want to go there, like, okay, fine, I'll pick something else. Like, I'm not being demanding or anything, but it's like, let's go to this place. And they're like, yeah, okay. And then bam, done. We got to figure it out. What time? 6:30. Okay, good. Like, everyone's on the same page. And if someone says, well, actually, I got to do something first. Okay, 7. Or, yeah, I'm a little hungry now. Okay, 5:30, whatever. Like, if you need to change it, go ahead. But a lot of times it's like, just pick something and let everyone know, like, this is where we're going. If you show up, awesome. But definitely, yeah, with that big of a group, someone's going to have to take charge and call ahead or something, right? Like if you get a reservation for 20 people, they have no problem pushing a bunch of tables together because they know they're going to get, really good tips out of it and everything. That's guaranteed business for them. But you just can't do it at 5:30 in the afternoon and figure out, hey, what are we doing for dinner tonight? You got to plan ahead.
Right, but I still think that that's a waste of time. I guess it depends on what everybody wants to do, right? But if everybody's there on vacation, they all want to go eat. But still, trying to get 20 people all go to the same place, I think you're going to get everybody splitting up. And anyway, you don't get 20 people, even if they are at one table and nobody's having an actual conversation. Whereas I guess I'm thinking everybody gets together into like a parking lot or into around a pool or whatever it is at that hotel. I don't know how that hotel is arranged, but everybody's just kind of hanging out with a computer or two going with a hangout. Then it turns into a giant conversation going on of the likes we've never seen before. And if you get that thing going, okay, the show's over at 5, we're gonna all grab food and show up and be at the same place at whatever, some amount of time later that everybody agrees on. That's a lot better than like, hey, let's all show up at 9 or 10 or 8, after we're done eating, after we figured out where to go, and after all these individual like decisions are made on where to go, and then finally go, and then finally wait for everybody else in town who's packed because everyone's trying to eat close to the place too, right? Giant event. You know what I'm saying? Then just from experience, you're going to end up all getting back together late, and then not before too long, especially with that many people are going to be like, oh, I'm tired. I got to go. So if we really want to get any kind of effective, getting together time and figuring out what was going on and having a big blast with the live stuff, then I think we'd, I don't know, figure it out ahead of time instead of just trying to assume it's going to happen with that many people. But I guess it also would require that many people wanting to do that. They might not have any interest in all that. Do we get exhibitor badges for the table? So Mr. Wright hasn't heard. I talked to the people at Wanamaker and let them know that what we're doing. And we got 14 media passes. So everybody has a media pass. I don't know if I got you one or not. Sorry that you weren't part of the like giant email that I just sent you into. But we got 14 media passes. That's pretty much a bunch of people. And then they gave us a table. We're upstairs to the far west. So where we were last year, and then all the way to the west where the big doors are. So we're at the northwest. And we got a table with electric. And Clover's wife made a tablecloth that says gun channels on it. And with that many people, I suspect we'll be able to have somebody at the table all the time, being able to say stuff like what gun channels is and that kind of thing. And yeah, so better than badges, we got press passes for everybody. Well, not for everybody, but for the people that are going to be walking around with cameras that wanted press passes and that are willing to, deal with their rules for press.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And if, like you said, the gun channels table, if people do wander by, like it'd be cool to see, people that are tech savvy and like think that gun channels itself is a cool idea. Getting a little fresh blood in here and seeing what they do with it. You know, maybe there's some people that are making their own content, doing their own stuff, and they've just been looking for an outlet.
One of the things I think that'll impress people when they walk past that gun channels table is going to be the stacks and stacks of stickers that Angelina's going to make for us.
That's right.
You know, it would be cool to combine the whole scavenger hunt thing when you like tell random people about gun channels, give them like a scavenger hunt thing, and then say, hey, post your results over here on this, like, you know, channel that's been made. And then that gives random people a reason to actually sign up for the thing, because maybe some random person can win the scavenger hunt for having the coolest thing.
That's interesting.
And then, of course, get the sticker from Angelina, as we've already all established that we are volunteering her time and effort and materials.
I know, right?
Well, you know what I do is I always carry a couple gun channels cards in my wallet.
Do you carry a couple Allen Anchor cards in your wallet?
I don't have any Allen Anchor cards at all. So
Wow.
I'll have to get some of those. But every time I strike up a conversation, it can be with a guy at the gun store, right? Like at my local gun store. It can be with like one of the guys that work there. It can be with a customer. It can be with a guy at a gun show. It can be a guy at fucking Denny's that overhears my conversation and decides to get into why the 40 caliber is better than the 9mm debate. But either way, like
so you mean someone who's wrong?
You can always end that conversation with like, oh, by the way, like here's a card. You can find me over on gun channels where you bullshit about guns all the time. And I've done that quite a few times. It is to hand out those cards and just keep a couple in your wallet. And fuck, every time I buy patches from G-Webs or something, he always sends me a bunch of those fucking cards. So, and so that's what I do with them, is try and actually hand them out, get them into the hands of other people. I think that's like I think that's one of the biggest things you can do, is just like get one of those cards in the hands of someone else, because you might tell them gun channels, and by the time they get fucking home, like they don't even,
Yeah. They're like, what was that?
Hand them that card, then they pull out their card out of their pocket that night, and they're like, let me see what this is about. Then they actually type it in their fucking computer.
Yep. No, I do the same thing. I have gun channels and Every Second Matters cards in my wallet.
I kind of figured people
would.
would.
The one time that I gave these guys an Every Second Matters card, because they were like super cool gun people. I think it was like before SHOT Show, and I was talking about how I was going, and they were all like super excited, like, oh, that's so cool, you get to go, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's all because of the connections I've made, on gun channels. And we were talking about the Every Second Matters podcast, because they were all very like rights oriented. Like they weren't just like gun people, like, oh, I have a shotgun. I mean, they were like, we were nerding out on specific laws or whatever, like right up my alley. Like, fuck yeah. And then later in the night, I saw the thing sitting on the bathroom floor. I was like, you fuckers. I took a picture of it, put it on my Instagram. Was like, this is what happens when you try and be nice to people. What the fuck? I was so pissed.
Oh, shit.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
I really didn't think that was going to go there. I thought that was going like, and now you know them by Troy or something like that.
Nope. I didn't see them in there again either.
So who the fuck's Troy? I don't think I've seen Troy in the chats before. Who the fuck are you?
That's a nice way of putting it.
I was in this bathroom and I found this card on the floor.
Yeah, it was a gun channels card. It was a pretty dingy bathroom, but I picked it up anyways.
Oh, that's a true statement. I left the card sitting right there. I'm like, I'm not picking that up. That's gross.
I have 2 Allen Anchor business cards now, so that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'll speak for Troy. He's just a dude who's been showing up to the late night Smeggie Caves recently.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
That's true. I'm just
are you one of our anti-gun guys that we have coming around?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
So we
pretty
gotta
hard.
change your mind over to Pro 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty hardcore against guns. They're so bad.
Fucking guns.
What I don't like about them is they're icky.
They're scary, and like my Glock is really black, and I'm very just afraid
Mm.
Well, that's racist.
of it.
That's racist.
Well, people are racist against black rifles too. They never did anything to anybody. They just sit there. They're inanimate objects.
So what? You're calling black rifles lazy? Is that what you're saying? That like if they were self-respecting rifles, they'd be going out shooting people, but they're lazy, so they just sit around.
Well, if that's the case, all my guns are lazy then. They never go out and shoot people, ever.
Well, they may not shoot people, but they do shoot stuff by themselves sometimes. There was just a post like a couple days on Instagram, a guy showing his rifle safe with a bullet hole through the top of it. The cocking notch on his hammer snapped,
Oh,
and he had a loaded round in the chamber. And he said it had happened while he was at work, and he had got home, and like no one knows, like no one has been in his safe, no funny business. Like a hole right up through the top of his fucking safe. He took the gun apart and figured out the hammer literally just like disintegrated. The whole cocking notch just cracked and snapped off. I'm surprised it still had enough force to set off the round. Like I don't, because usually I don't know. I imagine that kind of creeping. Like I don't know, like cracking slowly, but all of a sudden just snap, boom, hole through a safe.
Wow.
And it was a nice safe. It looks like a nice, like, $2,000 safe or something.
Dude, that's got to be like a 1 in a billion chance or whatever, right? I mean, think about how many guns and like
sit loaded.
Yeah,
So,
like
yeah.
don't have that problem. Like that's a super fluke.
Oh yeah, well, it's obviously some kind of bad casting or something. It had a flaw in the casting on the hammer, just right there. Like that was like the 1 in a million guy who got the bad hammer. Like
Now I got to check my shotgun.
But they can malfunction just like anything can, right? That's why we treat them with respect and keep them pointed in safe directions. That's why we have rules, right?
Well, exactly, because the rules are designed for when there is a failure, and that failure can be of material.
Yeah, whether it's a failure of the gun or a failure of you.
Right. Well, and even the rules, what I like about them is they're redundant in a way that like if you break one of the rules but all the other ones stay in place, like at least no one gets injured. I mean, there are other things like I guess the worst would be like a negligent discharge that goes through the wall or whatever, right? Because you put your finger on the trigger or whatever. But because you didn't break the other rule of pointing it at something that you don't wish to shoot,
Destroy.
then that's like the worst rule to
That's
break.
the difference between a negligent and an accidental discharge, right? Like,
It's
In
just
the
like
Army,
the
there
three
was
laws
no-
of robots. There's no way for them to hurt a human.
So does anyone know the history of the rules of who came
Jeff
up with
Cooper.
these?
Jeff Cooper is the
Okay.
one who came up with the rules. He's the pioneer
that's
of the rules. So Jeff
That's
Cooper.
awesome. I didn't know it was
You want to
traced
look
back to
up.
one dude.
You want to read his books and get everything you can get your hands on at Jeff Cooper, and just saying.
I think it
was
probably is one of those things though where he's just the one that like was the first one to like say them like not consistently, what the hell word am I? Concise, like say it concisely, and then like it kind of caught on. It's like that's the perfect way of describing it.
He taught it in all of his classes, and it was in his books. But he started off like that's how he started off all of his classes. That's what I remember reading. Is that's how he started every class was with those rules and made sure everyone understood those rules.
Right. I'm just thinking like I can picture in 1776 they're like, now make sure you don't point your rifle at
But,
anybody.
but
Like
he is the
the
father of
types
all
of
modern
rules have
handguns.
been around. I think he just said it concisely and really got it to catch on.
Well, you got to remember the guy who came up with the rules is also the father of all modern handgun fighting techniques. I mean, that's the guy. I don't care who you go to, like James Yeager. I don't care like what instructor you go to. They're teaching something from Jeff Cooper. Like
So
they're, like they are.
on the internet, it says that in 1902, the English shooting enthusiast, somebody wrote a much quoted verse on gun safety, including this verse: "If a sportsman true you'd be, listen carefully to me. Never, never let your gun pointed be at anyone." So that's from 1902, is written down.
That's cool. That'd be a cool subject to do. Just how the rules came about.
There's it's in Wikipedia. The 1913 book, The ABCs of Rifle, Revolver, and Pistol Shooting. You got the accident-proof rule, the companion rule, and then the trigger rule. And then there's the 10 Commandments of gun safety. Then Jeff Cooper, the influential figure in modern firearms training, formalized and popularized 4 rules in safe firearms handling. Prior lists of gun safety rules included as few as 3, but as many as 10. Sporting etiquette and whatever. In addition, Cooper, other influential teachers, gun safety included other people. I like how they put Ignatius Piazza in here. Nice.
Who's that?
Front Sight, who basically just did exactly what they did at Gunsight and wrote it down again. So he didn't really. Well, I guess he's influential because he has a lot of people that train there.
Oh, but he kind of
Never
just
gonna
like
meet
copied
Jeff
over the
Cooper.
curriculum.
Like verbatim, yeah.
Did you ever get to meet Jeff Cooper back in the day?
No, I never have.
That would have been one guy I would have loved to have met, man.
That'd be an interesting chat sometime. How many people could you have shaken the hands of, except you were too fucking lazy and didn't do it?
Right? That would be a good one.
Freaking Hunter S. Thompson. That would have been a good one. I could have hung out with that guy for a while.
So I'm trying to think. I don't know of like that's a weird way of phrasing. Like I don't know of the people. It's like, oh man, like I could have done that. I mean, I guess technically you almost list like anyone in the world you haven't met yet, because it's like, well,
people
I
that
could have flown to the place and taken a class or done this or whatever.
Have to be alive when you were an adult. You can't count like, well, I was born and they were alive.
Well,
like,
no, but even still, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are plenty of people that like, I guess I like right this second I could go meet, like they're available.
I was just
Tell you what, man, I got a
It's like
plan.
anyone in the world who's alive right now, I could have shook their hand, but
Well, I got a plan. In 3 years, when my youngest is out of the house, when they turn 18, I am officially going to retire. And I am going to rent out my house for a while, and I'm going to buy a motorhome of some sort or a camping trailer or something to tow around, and I'm going to plan on doing lots of driving. And that's one thing I really want to do is there's a lot of factories and people who make parts and guns and stuff that I really want to visit and meet the people who make that shit and see how it's made and see whatever they'll let me see. And and that's something I really want to do. And there's all sorts of places, and that's my gun loophole tour shit that I want to do one day. Is I just want to go see all these cool places like Strike Industries and Troy and Geisley and just like I mean, just all sorts of fucking places, man. You know, barrel makers and just, you know, hey, man, can I watch you make a barrel, dude? Like, for real, like, I'll pay. Like, you know, is it like, is there a tour fee? Like, whatever. I'd be willing to pay, like, an entrance fee. Like, just let me come watch you guys make a barrel. Like, you know, like, okay, you don't want me to record or take pictures because your shit's all secret? No problem. I don't care. I just want to see it. Like, yeah. Like, you know, that's what I would really like to do.
Do it. Definitely possible. Most of the time, you just call them and they're down. So,
Oh yeah,
I encourage you to do it.
I've already done it to a couple places here locally that I've been able to, you know, go to. So there's, you know, I went to a North American Arms, and I went to FA out here, and you know, an American, and I've been to a couple places around here and stuff because it's, you know, it's not taking a fucking trip to go do that really, but luckily there's some good companies here by me that I've been able to go visit, but there's like a lot of places in California, and God, I hate to say it, when I go to California, I'm gonna have to make sure I hit fucking all of those at once. I don't know if I want to be going back. There's so many good companies in California. It's like, fuck, why do you guys make your shit there? Is it like just cheaper on shipping from all your aluminum you're getting from China or what? Like, I don't know why there's so many good gun companies in California. Why they haven't all got the fuck out yet.
That's probably part of it, is the shipping thing. I mean,
I can't imagine it's like tax breaks or anything like that. I can't imagine California is giving gun companies better tax breaks than what Texas or Utah or something is. I really can't imagine that, dude. And so
no, I wouldn't think that. I think it's more that it really has the infrastructure of the, you know, the shipping, and
because they're buying lots of steel and aluminum, like raw, you know.
well, and even just then to distribute out to the rest of the country, like, because so many importers come in through that way. So as far as having like the trucking shipping hubs and the trains and all this, like, you know, so much just like regular shit goes through there and then goes out all around the country.
I hate to say it, but I do like buying stuff from California as far as shipping times are concerned, because getting stuff from California to Utah, it's always like, even just regular first class is like 2 days. You know, just it's super quick shipping from California to here. Like East Coast time, it can be like over a week for regular, you know, first class shipping. California is definitely on the ball about shipping shit out of there.
Exactly. It's because they have the infrastructure set up. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going through there. I mean, that's one of the things with Detroit, really. Our border to Canada, like, tons of fucking trucks go across the bridge all the time, which is why we're building a new one south of the city.
I was saying, like, if I ever hit up Canada, dude, I'd be like, okay, Savage Manufacturing. Like, I'd want to go see that place.
Because, I mean, like, you know, 75 runs right up through Detroit, and you can pop over to Canada, but it's like, what, you know, once you get onto it, that runs freaking north-south all the way down to Florida. So, like, anywhere between Michigan and Florida, you can get to right off of 75. It, like, zigzags way down, hitting every single major city on the way down. So we have tons of fucking semi-trucks rolling through here. And we were smart enough. We're building a bridge to Canada, and we're making Canada pay for it.
Okay, so
like it's not going to cost the U.S. or the state of Michigan a fucking penny.
okay, so I got a question for you. So these gun companies, okay, so this is kind of like a three-part question. So these gun companies that are behind enemy lines in states like New York and California and stuff, making gun parts for the rest of the country and world and stuff. Now, you know, they're behind enemy lines in California. So does that mean that we should support them more? Does it mean we should boycott them? Does it mean that we should support them less? Like, how should we treat those companies that are behind enemy lines? Like, should we be like, hey, fuck you, you're not moving to a free state, or should we be like, oh, I'm going to support you more because you're behind those lines and you're probably putting up a fight, maybe? Like, because some companies really don't advertise like anything to do with like, hey, like we're fighting for the Second Amendment, we're doing this. A lot of companies just stay real. I mean, they don't post anything like that, which doesn't mean they're not doing it.
Right, they're just trying to
Privately as individuals, they just don't ever advertise that their companies like really pro 2A or fighting for rights or anything, right?
So if a company is pro 2A and they do a lot of efforts for the Second Amendment, but do it quietly, is that as effective as if they did it publicly? And
No, definitely not. No, it's just definitely more effective if they doing it publicly. But I'm just saying, I mean, come on, you have to admit there's a ton of gun companies out there, and I know you guys see them on Instagram and social media and stuff. And how many pro gun stuff are they putting up? Like, I mean, I can name a ton that have never put up something even pro gun other than just the shit they sell and make, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and what drives me nuts is they'll do nothing at all. They'll sit silently during the struggles. They'll be happy as punch to put up stuff to sell whenever the times are great. But even when times are like in struggle, they'll still just, here's our ad. Maybe they'll adjust their ad so they're not unaware of what's going on in the world, with the climate or whatever. So they'll adjust their ad accordingly, but they certainly don't go advocacy or, look, we've got infrastructure here, we're paying for ads, let's make that ad say act. Like, it's going to be buy our crap. And then as soon as they drop their garbage on a flag, I'm done with that company. But that's usually where I get sick of them, is when they, like you say, they're just not, they don't even make a peep about the second or encouraging others to be active.
Yep. And I see that a lot from these companies, but it's not just companies.
I don't care if it's behind enemy lines.
Companies all over the country, that are doing that. That there's companies in pro 2A Texas that don't make a fucking peep about the Second Amendment, and that kind of makes me wonder. So, like, is it, if they're behind enemy lines, is it harder? Do they have to worry more about making a peep to because they're more under attack, or should we be, if they are making a peep, if they are screaming, hey, we're pro 2A, like, should we be telling them, hey, move your company out of there, or should we be like, hey, I'm gonna support you, buy your shit because you're staying behind enemy lines fighting? Like, how do we treat that?
Yeah,
I think you're looking
at an answer even. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just throwing it out there because that's just something I was wondering about, because there's some companies behind enemy lines.
So I think you're looking at it maybe just a little, I don't want to say wrong or whatever, but like you're focusing on, are they behind enemy lines or not? I think the more important thing is what was just touched on a minute ago, is, are they supporting the Second Amendment publicly or not? So I don't think it matters which state they're in, of, should you support them more or less. It's more, what are they doing?
Just the fact that they are behind enemy lines. Like, is it a good thing that they're supporting the taxes of
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or is it a good thing that they're a bastion of hope behind enemy lines? So I could see that just the fact that they're there is a question. Do you support somebody who's trying to be a go against the grain, or do you boycott them because they're willing to support the bad guy, the giant?
Right, and that's where I say, if they're behind enemy lines and they are fighting, then yeah, like you want them to be doing good, because honestly, they'll have more pull when they do talk to a politician to be like, hey, you shouldn't pass these laws. And by the way, we're a $10 billion company paying a shit ton of taxes. Like, do you really want us to leave? You have more bargaining power.
Yeah.
On the other end, if they're not doing shit and they're getting their $10 billion and paying all the taxes on it, you're doing nothing but freaking helping the state that's trampling on people's rights. So I think it comes down more to
two factors:
support the companies that are fighting back, and maybe more if they're fighting back behind enemy lines. But don't worry about the companies that aren't fighting back. Like, don't.
Well, there's, like when I hear, I can't remember the name of the company right now, but I heard about a company that said like, oh, we're not going to sell to California law enforcement or any,
I love when they do that shit. Yeah.
kind of state institution, right? And stuff like that. So I'm like, oh hell yeah! When I hear that, I'm like, yeah, that's a. When I hear that, it's definitely a company I can support, right? When I hear a company say, oh yeah, we're not going to sell to, to states
Right.
like.
If the citizen can't have it, why should the cops have it?
Yeah. So I like to hear that, but I don't know, maybe I see a little bit more companies in California and in states like that who are really quiet about that, especially in California actually, that are just really quiet about the two-way fights, man. And I don't know if it's because they don't want to draw attention to themselves like that kind of political attention. I don't know if it's they're scared, if they're like, what their play is on it. Because I'm not them, right, obviously, but it makes me wonder, like, how come more of these companies in California aren't vocal on social media and stuff, like, and they're not.
Do you find any similarities between gun companies and, let's say, tobacco, back in when they were going at tobacco and the companies were speaking out and they're saying, well, you're just saying this because, you're selling the tobacco, you're selling the cigarettes. And then they're demonized as a company and advertisement is taken away from them. You used to be able to advertise about smokes on TV. Now you don't see any of that. Same with hard liquor. And now you maybe can get a advertisement on the back of a NASCAR bumper. So maybe they hold their position a little closer to their chest because they don't want to be demonized.
Well, actually, even in my state, in a pro-gun state like mine, there's actually a gun store that can't put up a sign out front that advertises guns because of their location. So, so
but it's not like a local ordinance, like we don't want signs, or it's like we don't want a gun sign.
We don't want a gun sign.
Okay.
It's straight up, like we don't want a gun sign because there's businesses on each side of that gun store that have signs out front and stuff.
So I've heard of that before when there was like, I don't know, there was some gun shop like, down the street from a school. So they're like, you can't have any windows because like kids walk past here and they could see a gun.
Exact same thing. Exact same thing.
That's horrible. That should be the opposite. Like, oh, great, you have a gun shop. That's perfect. So can you do gun safety courses for us twice or three times a year for the different grades? Like, that'd be great. Thanks for being so close. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I just remember them going nuts about how, oh yeah, the school's right next door or whatever. It's like, okay, like, I forget what they said, something about like, kids walking home from school could just like go to this gun shop or something. It's like, do you think because it's next to the school, or like I say, it wasn't even next to, it was like somewhere near. I mean, and it's, I don't know how big that city was, but like in the city I'm in, you can't go a block without being near a school. If like 2 miles is near, there's at least a school every 2 miles. You know what I mean? Like we have tons of neighborhoods with like schools in it. But anyways, it's like, do you think because it's close, like all of a sudden the gun shop's gonna frickin' like, break federal law and start selling to 7-year-olds? Like, nah, it's not like the kids are buying guns just because it's near an elementary school or some shit. Like, they're still legal.
But them gun nuts, Smeggie, you don't understand. These gun nuts, they can't get enough of the guns, the semi-auto guns. So what they'll do is buy them, and then I need another one. Like they'll have to get another one, and they'll put the one down, and they'll buy another one, and then they'll have to have another one. So they'll put that one down and buy another one, and before you know it, they lose track of all their semi-auto guns. They're all over. Kids pick them up.
Oh, and then because there's no requirement for, reporting a lost or stolen gun.
There's no background checks, no gun show loopholes. No, kids just pick them up on the streets in the grass.
Okay, so what do we do then?
If that's the case, I'm going to hang around more gun shops and just wait for people to set their guns down and go walk inside to buy a new one.
So how do we let these companies know that we like companies that are vocal and like companies that are pro 2A and that are fighting the good fight? Is it like, when we buy something from them, like
I
they
think
always
it's
have that little
publicly
comment section?
praising the ones that do it. Because
Okay.
all the companies are keeping track of their competitors. So if all of a sudden their competitors getting tagged and all this shit that's like, hey, I just bought a new barrel from you because I I love your stance on the Second Amendment. Like, thanks for speaking out or whatever. Then the other guy's gonna sit there looking, well, what the heck? Maybe I should say something, and then people will praise me publicly. So reward the ones that do, because for one, that's gonna encourage them to keep doing it. And then for two, by publicly rewarding them, like not only just buying something, but telling the world that you're buying something specifically for this reason, that tells their competitors that, oh, maybe if I did that, people would support me as well.
What
I don't
about
agree, but I think
What
that
about
the people who are not online aren't gonna pay attention like you think. So if somebody chooses gun shop A over gun shop B because of whatever reasons, you can't just praise your gun shop you went to and assume the other one's going to see it. So if you really want to make a point to that other gun shop, I would also let them know specifically, because again, they're not necessarily monitoring the other guy.
What about every time you buy something every time I buy something from anyone, there's always a comment section when you go to hit the order button where you can type in something like, hey, like ship my shit faster or something or whatever. I don't actually understand what always that comment section's for, but there's always a comment section. So how about like just typing in there like, hey, just, I haven't noticed you guys being like really 2A proactive or anything, or what you guys are, I haven't seen you guys being very vocal about it, or haven't really seen you guys doing much in social media. What's up with that? Maybe type in something like that in the comment section. Just might let a company know, like, you know what, like we might actually, they might be doing stuff, but they just aren't posting about it on social media. So then they might be like, oh, you know what, we need to let these guys know that we just donated $5,000, or we just did this, we did that. So
I think that's a great idea, especially when you're buying something like you say, because they're going to look at that. They're looking to make sure it's not like, leave my package at the back door or something.
yeah. So the only time I think I've ever really used that is like I needed a stainless steel crush washer or something. I bought something and I was like, hey, I don't see any of these on your site, but if you have one, I'll buy it from you. Like, just throw it in and let me know how much. And they just threw it in for free. I was like, okay, cool. But like, other than that, I don't ever use that comment section. But maybe that's what it's there for. It's just to be like, hey, like, by the way, you guys need to be more vocal, because we like to buy from companies that are out there doing shit, right? That we know about, that are actually doing shit, doing something, right?
Yeah, I definitely I fall on the side of, for company points of view and, being public about stuff. I think that positive reinforcement works a little bit better than negative. So many people are jump on the bandwagon of boycotting this, that, or the other, and I do understand it. And there are some places like less expensive than dirt, or damn it, less expensive than soil, that I will never fucking buy from ever. I've never bought anything from them, and I never will. And so I understand like the negative enforcement of boycotting something, but I truly think that it works better to buy something from whoever, some other company, and be like, just letting you know, like, this is specifically because you are pro 2A, like I support you guys, keep up the good fight, blah blah blah, whatever. And like I said, because the company might do that, but like maybe they do some public thing and they don't necessarily see a huge spike in sales,
some of
whatever.
them have government contracts, right? And they're worried about saying anything for fear of might be losing those government
Right.
contracts.
I mean, I think if you look at like almost any industry and any company, most of them try and stay as neutral as possible. Like I know, especially when like some of the open carry people were like, oh, let's go to Starbucks because it's not illegal there or whatever. And they're sitting there going like, please guys, like quit making your political statement like with our coffee. Like they don't want to say don't show up because they want to take money from liberals and conservatives or whatever, right? So that's the thing. Most companies try and stay neutral. Sometimes they get forced into a fight to pick a side, or sometimes they choose to pick a side and then it ends up backfiring because everyone's like, well, I'm not like dicks, like, well, I'm not shopping there ever again. Like, fuck you. But I think most companies would much rather like never say something one way or the other. And again, that's just any company in general. I believe that gun companies should be more active because that's one of the only industries that's like actively being under attack like all the time. You don't see the government trying to, ban Marriott or something like, oh, hotels are evil. So there's no reason for them to take a stance on something. But I do see that from, a lot of stuff. They'd rather just be neutral because maybe speaking out on Second Amendment stuff, especially if it's, stuff that obviously I would support, but let's say it's, like the bump stock ban or something, and fucking like Remington comes out and it's like, don't ban bump stocks. There's gonna be a bunch of people because there are gun owners that are like, bump stocks are dumb, they should be banned. Like there are plenty of people like that. And so are you gonna cut your market in half? And now all those guys are not buying bolt action rifles from you because you came out and said, like, don't ban bump stocks. They'd rather just stay silent on that and then take money from, each group.
Yeah, I don't think they should be banned. I think that you should just be fined if you own one. And the fine should be having to put a decent stock on your rifle.
Yeah, I think it should be a laziness tax because you can't take the 10 minutes to figure out how to pump fire without a stock. Like that's just you're just cutting corners. I saw a really interesting video on YouTube today. I think it's like a little bit older. Like I don't think it was a brand new video, but I'm pretty sure it was at least after Vegas because it was about bump fires stocks. And I have to admit, it was like actually pretty fucking neutral, which it was one of those like guilty pleasure thing. I'm like, oh, I need to get my blood pressure up. Let's see what Vice has to say about bump fire. Like I was just expecting to be pissed off. And it was, it did a decent job. Pretty much just like, this is how it works. And then the dude that was showing it was like, oh, you know what it was? It was an interview with like I don't know if he's the main guy, but he was a dude who worked for the technology branch when the bump stock was like the first time when it was, found to not be a machine gun, which it's not. And then he's retired since then, but they were talking about it and he's like, yeah, this doesn't, it doesn't fit the definition, blah, blah, blah. And so it was definitely the video was from before the Trump thing and the ATF trying to regulate him now. But anyways, the guy was like, yeah, bump firing is just like a technique. Like you don't need the stock. And he did it and like, was getting like 3-4 shots in a row type of thing. And then the reporter actually friggin' grabbed the gun and was bump firing it, like, without the stock and everything. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Wait until they catch a hold of someone bump firing like a Glock, dude. like full auto, like it looks like a full auto because they're just using 2 hands and a finger or something, and then they're bump firing a Glock or something, dude. Like I've seen some guys that can do that really good with like the right pistol and trigger and shit, especially
like
something light.
A bump stick. They're gonna make them illegal too, I guess. Nobody talks about them. Or a bump board, I guess you want to call it that.
I don't know. A lot of this propositions I've seen proposed for a lot of those states have terminology like any device and any device that does this, any device. So it's not just like bump stocks. It's like,
well, those are the state level ones, and that's when they're going after, like rapid fire, trigger activators. But like specifically the federal, the ATF regulation, it is talking about basically just bump stocks. Like they don't even mention trigger cranks or anything. They're specifically saying because what they describe it as after the initial trigger pull, this device is a self-acting, self-regulating mechanical device which enables continuous fire after a single trigger pull. So they're basically saying the device itself is the thing that is continuing the firing, completely ignoring the fact that if you try and shoot a bump stock one-armed, it's not going to do anything. Because you, as the user, are inputting, a controlled force with your other arm. And they even mentioned in the regulations, I guess there was a bump stock type thing that I guess had a spring on it or something. Like, so the recoil would push the gun back, and then the thing had a spring that would push the gun back forward, therefore causing the trigger to hit your finger.
What are they going to do about people like me who can just literally grab his plain Jane AK and not even like use a belt loop or anything, like not even use a fucking, like literally use nothing at all and bump fire the shit?
Yeah, no, like, nothing as of right now. They're not banning the action of bump firing. They are literally just banning the.
But what's the difference? Like, I mean, like, there's like.
I agree with you, but I unfortunately
it's an action.
I don't want to bring that point up because then they'll ban the action. Then they'll say, you know what? You're right. It's illegal to bump fire. Just like when they tried to say it's illegal to shoulder a brace. Mm-hmm. Like they're telling you what actions you are allowed and not allowed to do with whatever
that's going to come back and bite him in the ass, just like the brace, dude. So
I don't know. Mm-hmm. It might bite him in the ass, but I could see them doing it, and then
what are they going to do? No, I think you're not incorrect. Okay, so I think you're
okay.
You're not incorrect, but just like that horse said, what are they going to do? They eventually are going to figure out that you can't regulate somebody going bang, bang, bang. Like, oh, well, that's not okay, but bang, bang, bang is okay. But bang, bang, bang? No, come on. Bang, bang, bang. No, but bang, bang, bang. No, bang, bang, bang is okay.
Yeah, but how many people are going to get caught up while they're trying to figure out that they can't regulate it?
Well, not me, because I have fucking hardcore evidence that the entire time that opinion letter was out about this brace, that I was telling people that you can shoulder them, that there's no way to fucking law, and I was producing evidence from the GCA, from the NFA. I was producing definitions that the ATF actually uses, and that in no way, shape, or form did that opinion letter carry the weight of law, dude. So if they come out with some kind of opinion fucking letter or something, unless it's actually law, like there's nothing they can do. It bears no weight. So I don't see what they're really going to do. How can they ever say like, oh, if you fire 2 rounds a second, it's illegal? And then like, I mean,
well, dude, I guess it depends on. Are you saying the ATF is just going to try and regulate the action of bump firing, or is Congress going to write a bill that says no gun can shoot more than?
I don't think they'll be able to pass a law. I don't think they'll be able to pass any kind of law like that. I think the only thing
I wouldn't think that states would be allowed to raise the limit and ban other stuff, but we're seeing states falling like dominoes right now. So I don't put it past any of them. I hope they couldn't pass a law, but they might. And if not, I mean, if it is the ATF trying to do some type of regulation thing where they've already redefined a chunk of plastic as a self-activating, self-regulating, mechanical device, which it's not either of those two things. It does not act by itself or regulate itself. Your, muscle tension activates it and regulates it. But either way, I mean, that's I don't know. I don't know what type of definition they'd be allowed to change that would talk about the action of. I'm just saying I can see it coming. Because I mean that's like with the rate of fire. I mean we see it at the state level is devices that increase the rate of fire, and that's not well defined because there's no standard like 1 shot per second is a semi-auto fire, and anything faster than 2 shots a second is a full auto or whatever. Like there's no definition of rate of fire. But they're trying to ban stuff that increases the rate of fire. And my question is, increase from what?
Well, and they're so fucking dumb is they don't realize that increasing the rate of fire, unless it's in some sort of military battleground aspect, rarely leads to more death or more carnage or anything, especially when you're talking about like a single fucking shooter. I mean, like even going back to Wild West days, there was people like Wyatt Earp that got asked like how come he was so effective in his gunfights, and he straight up said he stayed calm, cool, and collective, and while the other guy was shooting fast, he missed fast, and he took his time and actually aimed, and.
Oh yeah, I mean, and we know that just from like USPSA and shit. Like the
person that's like, yeah, that looked at that Vegas shooting and thought, gee, that bump stock was a lot more effective than just, semi-auto fire. Like, I really think that guy was more effective than anyone I know versus in a semi-auto rifle. Like,
I don't know. See, and that's the thing. And that's what I was hesitant to say. But I do think in a situation that if your target is over there somewhere, then yeah, shooting faster is going to send more bullets over there somewhere, and you're more likely to hit multiple people than if you took your time. I really do think that is like the one scenario when you're just aiming generally over there. So I don't want to open up that can of worms. But either way, it shouldn't be fucking illegal to, whatever, rapid fire if you want. If you want to just throw some lead into the side of a berm, you should be allowed to do that.
So I'm going to take some compensator and call it like the turbo supercharger, the gun turbo supercharger, and claim that it makes you like shoot like way fucking faster and like speeds up your gun and all this other shit. Watch the liberals like flip over.
I guess it's just the subject, like it irks me so much because of like the way my brain works. And it's like if you're talking about these machines, these mechanical devices that do a thing,
what about
then
suppressors, you said increase the rate of fire. Suppressors increase the rate of fire on like everything they fucking go on, dude. They increase cyclic rates.
I'm gonna hop off, Smeggie.
All right, see you, man.
All right, brother. Dead Horse, have a good morning.
Yeah, you too, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, definitely.
What, did G-Webs leave, or is he just being rude and not saying bye?
Oh no, he typed in the side chat and he said bye. He's going to
all right. I didn't know. I'm literally laying on the couch with my eyes closed right now, so I was just curious why Troy didn't say bye to G-Webs. So for all I know, there's 10 people in here and just me and you were talking. And they're all sitting around.
Nope, it's just me and you.
All right.
Solving the world's problems.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's... Oh, I don't know. I get so fucking worked up on this shit just because it's like... The definition of full auto was so black and white and made sense. Like, it was well defined. It makes sense. Trigger moves, bullet comes out.
what
Trigger
I've
move
always
once,
looked to
multiple
is
bullets come out, full auto. Like,
that's what I've always looked to as the military definition, because assault rifle, I believe, was originally a military term, and it yeah, it originated in Germany, right, with the Sturmgewehr and stuff, but it was still used in America as a military term. And I look at that terminology and how did they phrase that terminology and what did it mean to them? Because that's what assault rifle was for. No matter how you look at it, when you look back in history, it was for that. It was a military
right.
rifle.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
an intermediate cartridge with selective fire capabilities.
yeah, exactly. So I look at
And
that
so that's
terminology,
we
and
we
that's
talked
the
about this
only
earlier too.
terminology that matters to me, man. It's like that's why none of my guns are assault rifles. Like
Right.
none of them
And
are select fire.
it was one of those things that the left's been using for a while, and then they made up the term assault weapon, which at least doing that, you are drawing a distinction between something that's actually full auto and something that looks full auto. You know what I mean? Like, I still think it was a bullshit made up term, but at least it described two different things. And recently, I'm sure you've heard of this, where the dictionary has modified the definition of assault rifle and added like a second sentence. So the first part's, intermediate cartridge with select fire, blah, blah, whatever. Okay, great. And then it's like, semicolon or whatever, and a semi-automatic version, which, appears to be the same as the full auto or some bullshit like that.
Now, I got questions when I heard that I haven't heard anyone being able to answer. Is one of my first questions was, number one, who owns the dictionary that changed that? Number two was, if like who owns the dictionary, like who controls that? And no actual like governing body that's like federal or
Oh no, the dictionary is a company. I mean, that's why you have the
company,
Webster Merriam, you have the Oxford, you have the New American, you have the
so it's a private company. So if it's a private company and there's no governing body, that it's just a private company making their own decision what goes in there and shit, who owns that company when it comes down to it? Like, and it would not surprise me one fucking bit if some kind of like Bilderberg, Soros, something fucking came up, like,
I don't know about that. I mean, like the Oxford Dictionary's been around forever. It's
that doesn't mean they haven't been bought and sold 20 times.
It comes from the college or whatever, the university.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it hasn't been bought and sold 20 times.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I'm not putting my tinfoil hat on or anything though. I don't have any idea. But
what dictionary was it that changed it?
What was that?
What dictionary was it?
I'm pretty sure it's the Oxford Dictionary. Because that's the thing. I mean, you can look at Oxford Dictionary, and that's one thing. And like I said, the only other one I know of is the Webster Merriam, but there are others. And that's the thing, is they all are trying to, language is it's a evolving thing, right? Like words mean different stuff than they used to. Like I'm sure if you pulled the Oxford Dictionary out and, whatever, looked up faggot, it'd say, okay, a bundle of sticks, and then, second definition. Because that's the thing, you can have both options. Second definition would be a slang term for a cigarette, and then another one would be, a derogatory term for homosexuals. Like, I mean, you can have multiple definitions of stuff. The dictionary's job is to take language that people are using and describe it and explain what it is. That's why, words that are whatever, like common slang, end up in the dictionary eventually once they become common use. And the problem is people think like the dictionary is some type of authority. Even worse in this instance, if they think it's some type of legal authority. And it's not. I mean, laws are written with the words they're written with for a reason. But I can see people pointing to this going, see, I told you it is an assault rifle. Even the dictionary says so. They know everything. Because I remember every year there's always a thing about like, the 10 like craziest words that were added to the dictionary. And it's always like amaze balls or fucking like some slang, whatever. And then everyone like laughs about it, like, hey, this meme is like in the dictionary now, like some made up term for, like didn't they add Kekistan or whatever the fuck the Pepe thing is? Like they added that to the dictionary because people were using it a bunch. It's like a made up place that the right wing uses to troll people, like whatever the fuck it is.
Well, I don't even know anyone who uses the dictionary anymore, man. Like it's like Wikipedia shit nowadays that kids use and stuff.
Yeah, or even like, and that's one of the things sometimes I'll look up words that, if you're looking just for the meaning or something, and like dictionary.com's a good one, but I don't know if did they use like one of the other ones, or is that like a user made thing? I'm not sure like who makes that, but you can look up different words in different dictionaries and find different definitions, and they're all trying to basically, describe a language to someone as the way it's being used. Although they do normally try and keep slang out of it for a bit until, like, for whatever reason, they decide it has crossed the threshold of like just being slang and is now like commonly accepted. And I don't know how they figure that out, but that's why, like, once it gets into the dictionary, people like look at it as like a victory, like, aha, it's finally official, like, hooray. Even though it's still just words, and we all use our words however like we feel like using them, and cultures can change what stuff means. I hate to pull out the thing from Clerks 2, which is a pretty funny movie, but the whole thing is like, I'm taking the word back. Like, that doesn't mean that. I mean it. I think it means this other thing, and I'm going to start using it to mean this other thing. I'm taking the word back.
That can be hard to do, though.
Oh, it definitely can. And obviously, have you seen Clerks 2, where I'm getting, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. So, especially something like that, I mean, but that's it's funny of that, like, that whole scene where he, like, says it, and the other dude freaks out. It's like, you can't say that. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, my grandma called us that all the time. Like, it just means a lazy person or whatever. And they're like, no, it means this. He's like, no, it doesn't. And then, the kicker or the twist is like, he starts saying all this other stuff. It's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe my grandma was racist. Like, turns out she was just using a bunch of slang. But I kind of like that idea of like, let's take the word back. Like, we can, language is important, and we can, if it's a concentrated effort. I mean, you see that with some of the stuff, people tried to get defensive rifle to catch on, and some people still use it a bunch. I normally don't. I certainly don't use assault weapon when I'm describing my own stuff. Modern sporting rifle or whatever, like, because words are important. So if you can get the common person to say it the way that you want them to say it, you're kind of controlling their thoughts a little bit. And I'm not opposed to doing that kind of stuff if it's for fighting and defending our rights. That's why when G-Webs renamed that march, like the march to take away our rights or whatever, I was like, that's a perfect description for it. It's not march for lives. It's fucking, march to take our rights away. And with that one, it's like literally like, our rights, as in the people doing it. I mean, here's a bunch of like 17 and 18-year-olds saying, we don't want to have rights until we're 21. Like, literally, don't give us our rights right now. Make us wait 3 years.
Well, it's easy to give away things that you never had, really, because then you don't know what you're missing. So when they don't have those rights in the first place and never had that right, and they even had the option simply because of their age, to them, they're not missing out on anything right now. They don't know what they're
Right.
giving away because they're young and stupid.
Well, or it's easy to give away like other people's rights when it doesn't affect you, and that's where I see some of the FUDs going. Like, uh, I'm over 21. What do I care? Like, I already have mine, or I don't use a bump stock. What do I care? I don't need that, and that's a very like defeative attitude of saying, well, it doesn't affect me personally. It's like I think maybe it's some of the people they just don't
That's where I
they
always
don't have the same empathy or something. It's like
I hate
I'm
this.
not really
That's where
into
I always
cars, but I
slippery.
think you should be allowed to own like a sports car. Oh, yeah, but they go fast. They're assault cars. Like they, Mustang can go 140 miles an hour. Like, why do you need that to go to the grocery store? Well, you don't. But if you want something to drive around on the weekend, knock yourself out. I don't give a shit. But other people don't see it that way. It doesn't affect them personally, so who cares? Get rid of it. You don't need a supercharger. You don't need a turbo. Well, my car goes just fine without it. Now, not mine because I have dual turbos on my car, so I'm good to go.
All right, man.
Well,
It's getting late.
my
I gotta go make some coffee and get ready for work.
All right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out. Take it easy.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you later today, probably.
All right, sounds like a plan.
All right. Take it easy, man. Have a good night.
Yep, see ya. All right, and for everyone else listening, I guess I'm gonna drop out here as well. So thanks for hanging with me. Sorry I wasn't really reading the YouTube chat there. I've been, like I said, I was laying on the couch with my eyes closed and stuff. I haven't really been paying attention, but I see you guys out there, Zeus and Philo and Sean and John. We had some other. I know Vanessa was out there. I think she might still be listening. So I know she was out there earlier. A couple other people. So I saw you guys. I wasn't as good as reading today. It's just, dude, the way I have my thing set up, I'm always like leaning on my arm to be able to see the computer, and it just like my shoulder starts hurting and shit. So sometimes it's nice to roll over and just lean back. But if you ever do want to communicate with me and you want to jump into the chat, you guys know how to do it. Just send me a message over on Gun Channels. So, anyways, I'm shutting this down. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for putting up with our craziness at the beginning. Sometimes you got to blow off a little steam. So I had fun joking around with my friends and playing drums and talking about crazy stuff. I'm not even going to say it again, but you guys know what we were talking about. You were here. But anyways, thanks for putting up with our craziness. And then we did end up getting to guns and Second Amendment shit. So that's normally what I prefer the cave to be talking about. But like I said, sometimes you got to blow off some steam and just have a little fun. We're not one-dimensional people. We're all regular humans. So, all right. Well, anyways, see you guys later.